What you gonna do? Somebody better tell me why. Ooh. Somebody better tell me why we did. We did. I don't want to do. Meet me at the crossroads. Live streaming. What was I saying today? First. Camera's gross. Clean that shit off. Focus. Is that better?
Armand coming today? What the fuck is up with these coconuts?
Oh, what?
Exactly what I'm doing. Damn, I got Ezel on my laptop. What the fuck that is? Unplug. Unplug.
Hmm?
Nothing, I found one. There's the wall. Alright. Throw these away.
Brian's? Oh, Brain. Pinky style. Thanks, Wolfie. Not at work on the pooper. Nice, Frank. Nice. Let's see. Where's everybody at? They're around. They'll be here in a minute. We're just, doing our thing. Can you hear me? I don't have my shit on. Hold on. Proceed. Boom. There's the boys. I've been live for a couple minutes, by the way. I got to print the sheets. Armand knows nothing of time.
No?
Nothing.
Never heard of it.
He can't even spell it.
It's not even a concept to me.
Print. Voicemails. Bangity bang bang. That's later, though. I don't need to know.
Who was first today?
I was.
Oh.
Honestly, I went in there and I was like, fuck it. Today I am first. Sweaty Dolphin was second. Need something? Oh, out of a yeah.
Oh, way. That's better.
Let me get you a real chair, Armand.
This is
Not a
all right.
table. Not a table. We treat our Armands better than that around here.
Second class citizen.
I wouldn't say that.
I'll just sit on the guitar.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Armand is Iron Man.
Iron
is
Drop the frames, really.
Man.
We're not. Why am I not? Why am I? Why is it not doing that?
I don't know what superhero I'd be. I guess probably Thor. Thor.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gamora.
Cool.
Thank you. Anybody know that song?
Black Widow.
Why am I not?
If anybody's Thor, it's me, Armand.
Ah. You been going to the gym then?
No, don't need to.
Just natural, huh? It's all genetic.
It's not. It's not. I'm telling you, if you ever arm wrestled me, you'd. I'm like, God damn, already with the pagan and Armand.
That's Luar. You know
Is that
Luar.
Luar?
No, Sweaty Dolphin.
Oh, no.
Sweaty Dolphin's
Luar
pegging
said
me
something
today?
about pegging a minute ago.
No. Oh,
God.
There's my man ready to be pegged, he said.
God.
Oh, okay, yeah. Luar's with the pagan too.
All right.
Frank, Graham,
Thank you,
what are doing to
guys.
Make the world today, Brian.
I appreciate the sentiment.
It's raining in Jersey, Luar. That's crazy.
Oh. Hey, but I saw that picture Laura sent us of the Shake Shack. Man, that looked good.
Oh, I love Shake Shack.
Ooh, Wolfie says.
There's only one of them in this area. It's in the
I know.
Central West End over in St. Louis.
Oh shit.
Is that where it is?
Yep. We just had that kid drive there
Oh,
by
I'm
Bards.
thinking of Five. What's the other one?
Five Guys.
Five Guys.
Yeah, they got a few of those. There's one in
Phenomenal.
Fairview.
They're pretty
Guys is
good, too.
fucking good.
Yeah, but Shake Shack destroys it.
Really?
Gonna be
Get
honest.
fucked. No
Dude,
way.
their burgers taste better. Trust me. You would think that.
Why don't you go get us a couple?
What's up, OG Paul Weezy?
Shake Shack.
What's up, informative
The
dudes?
stock does real well, I'll tell you
Are we
that.
informative though?
Well, you guys got to have some when you go to New York. You definitely get it there.
No way. Give guys all. Five Guys all way. Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly. Five Guys all
Who said that?
fucking day, baby.
I'll tell you what, Five Guys doesn't shortchange you on the fries. Man, I'll tell you what, they give you a
How
bag
do you-
full.
How do you So like if I've got my magnification set a lot and I can't see the bottom to comment, how do I like? Because my taskbar's in the way. Is there any way I can reconcile
out?
this?
Why are you zoomed in so far?
No. Because I can't see.
I'm not helping you.
Why?
Because I've told you 100 times to get glasses, and I'm not helping you
It's
anymore.
nothing to do with the glasses.
Bullshit. Why are you zoomed in? Because you can't see. Get glasses.
It's more comfortable.
Figure it out on your own.
See, look.
Okay.
I can't see the thing here to. Oh, so I guess I could just do that. Never mind. Figured it out. Never mind.
What the hell's Burger 25? Fuck Eric. Look at that.
Where?
Russell.
God damn.
You can't read that, huh?
No, of course not. I didn't read that, fuck. No, I didn't see that. Hey, there's April.
Yeah, you have
Hi, April.
selective myopia.
Get glasses, man. Thanks a lot, Everett. Thanks a lot.
Hey,
Thanks a lot.
you're welcome. You should
Well,
get
do
glasses.
you really have trouble reading?
He has the worst eyes. He has the eyes of a fucking stone.
Well, why don't you get... Yeah,
Hey, Armand, you just gonna jump on the fuck Eric train or what?
No, I was going to
God damn,
suggest
man.
get LASIK. Get the LASIK procedure.
LASIK.
Yeah, get them fixed.
I'll let him cut my eyes. With
I did it.
Lasers.
Best thing I ever did.
Oh, you did? You did it?
With a knife, not
Get
a
the
laser.
fuck out of here.
1992, brother.
So what happened? So like,
Perfect.
Explain it to me. What the fuck is it all about?
They put a couple drops of local anesthetic in there. I was awake through the whole thing. I took a knife.
So how does cutting your eye make you see better?
The cornea is misshapen. That's why the light is not reflected on the retina. So the cornea, in my case, nearsightedness, I believe, is too incurvated. It's too incurvated.
Convex, right?
So, yeah, right. So they have to cut it and flatten it a little bit. He made like 4 little cuts. That was it. Took 30 seconds.
So what does that do if your eyes are? I don't know why my eyes are bad. I guess I don't know if I'm
Well, you gotta
nearsighted or
check it
farsighted.
out.
I can't see good up close or far away though.
Oh, well, you got to get checked out. I mean, but I think it's usually give you a free evaluation, because if it's like astigmatism and there's other problems. But
What about glaucoma or cataracts?
cataracts?
I
Are different.
got-
That's the lens.
I got cataracts.
Well, those you get fixed easy.
That's a joke,
Yeah,
know.
that's you're a
Medical
little
weed.
young for that.
Medical weed, Never mind. Let me
Give
get
it
this.
They give you
about,
cataracts?
5 more minutes, we'll start the show. Sound good?
What's up, Doug? No.
But anyway, I had now it's exact science.
Yeah.
They do it with a laser, yeah.
Lasers. Hey, will you go grab the printouts?
Did you print
They're
through?
printed, yeah.
All right.
I haven't had a girlfriend. She was fired from her job and got severance pay, and she wore glass. So it's the first thing she goes out and gets like 2 pairs of designer glasses, $300 each. I said, "Are you nuts? You could have had LASIK surgery for that. You know, they're only like $299 an eye."
Yeah, that's fucking cheap.
I
man.
never thought of that. Anyway,
Those type of guys can't be reasoned with.
well, that's my. I think he could probably be convinced.
I don't know about that. Armand.
Well, hell,
I don't think so, Tim.
why go through life? I wouldn't even wear glass. You don't have to. Why go through that in this day and age? It's crazy.
What's that?
That intern looks baked as fuck.
Hey, it looks pretty high.
Well,
I mean, I don't blame him. Fuck.
yeah. Why should you guys have all the fun?
I don't think we should. I'm perfectly fine with other people getting high. As long as he's performing his, job. Hey, what's up, Abe from India? Cool. As long as he's performing his job, I'm fine with it.
I don't care. Who cares about his performance? So would you rather have him high and performing his job or straight and...
See if he wants to go with us.
Oh, he's performing. What?
See if he wants to go with us next time.
He wants
Our
to do-
vehicle's pretty full.
Looks like he got pretty good weed.
Hey, man, they've been trying to get this to take that other person over there too. I'm just not. The club's kind of full right now. You know.
Wants
What
to
I
do some
I
show
get it.
prep?
We're not accepting. It's a members only thing.
Right,
and we
right.
ain't got no more jackets.
mean? Yeah, the fucking we're out of applications.
The plank time.
You familiar with the word?
Yes, the plank time.
Plankton.
Not plankton.
I would just like to say
Plank time.
before the show starts, so this doesn't make it on the recording, that I'm as smart as Einstein.
This isn't mine.
Oh,
What?
Bummer. Well, pretty close.
Well, now that he's dead, I would say
I don't know if
probably
that's
that's
true.
probably true. Well, not
Just a lot of the things like, these things like plank time, and there's other things
yeah,
about
the
time.
plank length, the plank.
Well, plank time specifically,
That's
before I'd ever
based
heard of
on the
that.
plank length.
Plank
yeah.
length, right? It's I postulated. I actually named it plank time before ever hearing about it. What I figured was the smallest. I swear to God, I came up with this
Well,
independently.
Smallest quantum of time
Right, it's-
possible.
Here we go.
How much a photon? I figured out how much a photon
India.
could travel at the speed of light in the distance of one Planck length could be the smallest amount of time, and that is the exact fucking definition.
That's what it is.
China is here, Mr. Betts.
That's true.
Now,
China
what is the
very-
plank length?
Yeah, I have that written here too. It's very, very small.
Yeah.
Like
hello,
10 to the
10 to
negative
negative
30.
30.
Ab-
35
Abhay Singh. Wait a minute.
Something
That's
meters?
probably the guy that
It's
fucking tried
actually
to
where quantum, the length means nothing anymore. It's like when quantum takes over. What? There's other plank scale stuff.
There's all kinds of Planck.
Yeah.
Put planks in your ceiling.
No, not that.
Hey, Abhay Singh, are you
Plank.
No, never mind. No, you're not.
It's almost 1 a.m. in India right now,
I know.
according to
Sorry,
Abe
I'm
Singh.
late, folks.
Of course.
You apologize to me. What's up, fellas from the oil field in West Texas? Hello, man, in oil field in West.
I always want to do that. Was that
What
pretty
was
good?
His IQ.
That's kind of
Was that kind of Texany?
What was
that's
Einstein's
kind of
IQ?
racist, isn't it?
I
No,
thought so too.
You can't be
Thank
racist
Armand.
against Texans.
Yeah, you
You can
can.
be racist against anybody or
Is that
anything.
racist? If that's
Yeah.
racist against Texans,
It's kind of implying
then
that
fuck
they're
Texans.
all, flipping their 10-gallon hat in the air.
Aren't they?
Like you sound like Slim Pickens on his way down on the nuclear bomb in Dr. Strangelove.
Einstein never took a modern IQ test, but it was believed that he had an IQ of 160.
Yeah, I'm
The
nowhere
same
near
as
that.
Boris
Not that great.
Hawking. Only
I'm nowhere
1%
near
of
that.
those who sit
I'm
in
like
the Mensa test achieve the
High
maximum
130s.
Nah, I think you're in the low 80s.
Low 80s. Thanks, buddy. I can't even ride on a long bus.
12-year-old girl
You're only a
scores
little below
162
average.
in the Mensa IQ test.
Who did?
A 12-year-old girl
Oh,
You
yeah?
know what?
scored a 162.
Even that's not that great. Isn't it like
Fuck are you
200?
talking
Yeah,
about?
but like 200 is...
Only 1% of Mensa people have the fucking over a 160.
Okay, so David's Mexican. He
yeah,
doesn't
but
sound like
Mensa's not that hard to get into.
How would you do
What is it, the Prometheus or whatever? What's the one that's like 1 in like 2 million or
that. What are you
something?
talking about? I wasn't paying attention.
The most selective high IQ society.
Oh, I don't know. Fuck.
You want to look it up?
Mensa and Beyond are a bunch of fucking assholes.
Mensa's like 2% though. This is like 1 in every 2 million or
Yeah,
something.
I don't know. Bunch of self-important
Yeah,
pricks.
that's Eric.
We're
kinda.
so smart. Let's get together and beat each other off.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what it
you
is to
think?
me.
I bet you
Prince
get laid with a
Andrew's
Mensa
gonna-
card.
We're the smart club. Yeah, you probably could buy some fucking dorky bitch. You know, if anybody fucks you over a membership
Howdy,
card, they're not
y'all.
worth fucking.
How significant is that to you as like looking for a woman? I mean,
How smart she
intelligent
is?
as opposed to good looks.
Well, I'm not looking for women. But if I were, intelligence would be way up there.
Really? More than good looks?
I couldn't sit around
Bullshit.
with somebody saying stupid shit all the time. I couldn't do it.
Sure you
I would be
could.
so annoyed.
If she had a big
man.
rack.
The big rack lasts a month and a half until you're done playing with those toys.
Well, how long is it?
It's like the other toys in your toy box. You just throw it back in.
Oh, bull.
You get bored on her 80 day and maybe you
Nah,
pick
you
it up.
don't get, it's a known scientific fact. The only thing people don't get bored with is sex. You get bored with intelligent conversation long before you get sick of big tits.
Well, I'm saying there's billions of big tits out there. There's very few, women who can keep up intellectually and not bore you and not irritate you with just some of the dumb shit.
I think
would you like to have a person who's completely irritated
I think
with the dumb shit they
a
say?
lot of intelligent women and men are boring as hell. I think that's
fine.
part of it.
I'm pretty boring.
Yeah, well, you're not that intelligent either.
I know. I got the best of all the worlds.
You're terrible.
Wait a minute. I fucked that all up.
You about ready to start?
No, not yet. I'm fuck.
What'd you do, man?
I don't know.
I
Who knows
screwed-
what he did? You
screwed
can't even
my-
read what he's doing. So you can read this. You can read this. Can you read this from there?
I wrote that.
Can you read it from there?
Can you read it?
I think you could put that on
What
the
is
door and I
time?
can read it.
Well,
Is
then
there
your eyesight isn't that bad then.
If there's time, if there is no life to. Yeah, I mean,
No.
You can read that.
You said if there is time. It's is there is time.
I wrote it. Okay.
Is there time?
Is there time if there is no life to observe?
That's a rather
Put that on the
metaphysical
wall. I
question.
can read it from here.
Horse shit.
I'm gonna tell you what line.
All right. I think I am full of shit.
Yep. Completely.
The third from the bottom.
Come on. How do I get the default view?
It's kind of a glare. A little closer. Object that is slightly off while the light reflecting off of something face seems.
Okay.
So I mean,
that's pretty close.
yeah, not as good as I thought.
You're here.
Thank you. Oh, these are yours. Oh, not the same distance.
I can read it.
Let's start with
Everything-
right here in the time, if you can get that.
In the time of the dinosaurs, a year was 370 days.
Oh, well, don't give our shit up yet.
No, he's got it. You're good. I'll give it to you.
Well, excuse
So both of us have about 12 times the vision Eric does.
I'm telling you, I had that surgery done in 1992. It's still perfect.
That's
Perfect.
awesome.
Never had any problem with.
My vision is
I'm
as good as it
56
used to
years
be.
old, and I don't need reading
I
glasses.
used to have 2015 vision, but
Let me ask you this.
probably 2020
If
now.
I do
Okay.
the windows left, windows right, split me two windows off, can I magnify one and not the other?
Yes.
See, he told me when he did it, I was 26 years old. He told me, I'm going to leave you a little bit nearsighted because I don't want you to use reading glasses. And I'm
Tell him to go
56.
fuck
I don't use, no. It's
beautiful.
I
30
thought he was
years
full
later.
of shit. But
Well, he probably still is.
all my friends have reading glasses. I don't use them.
Nice. You guys ready? Eric, you ready?
In a second. But yeah, other than that.
Boom, boom, boom. Taking away the moments that make up the dull day. You might know that song?
Dark
Yeah.
Side of the Moon.
What's the name of the song?
Time.
Time,
Very good. Oh, wow. Well, time, why you punish me. Something like that. You know that one?
And if you think about tomorrow and all the pain and sorrow.
Running free. That's Hootie and the Blowfish.
Oh.
What other songs are named Time? Songs named.
Okay, you're absolutely
Time After
wrong.
Time, right? Was that Cyndi Lauper?
Ooh, yeah. If you
Time after time.
Is that Cyndi Lauper?
fall, I will get
Am I
you.
wrong on that
I'll
one?
be waiting. Term after term. Time.
He's on my side. Yeah.
me. That's the same fucking
No,
song.
no, it was not. Time is on my side, Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know
Rolling
that one.
Stones. Yeah.
Love me 2 times. That doesn't work.
Doors.
Yeah.
No.
Big time. Doo-doo. I can't. I only know that part
Torchlight.
of the song.
That's a
Peter
badass
Gabriel.
song there, Torchlight. Ticking away the moments that make up
That's
a
Time?
dull day.
That's the name
No,
of that
it's
song?
not.
That's not that song.
By Pink Floyd?
No, that's just
Yeah,
a good
that's
jam.
a different song. But that's a different.
Um,
Time keeps flowing like a river. Oh, that's Alan Parsons.
I don't know.
APP.
Yeah.
She hot? Who hot?
All right. We got to get this going.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. You ready?
Yep.
Hitting record. Give it a couple seconds. I remembered to record. It's important this week, man. We'll be out of town next Monday on the road. I can't be posting this shit. We got to get this done this week.
Let's do it.
Anyway, you ready?
Yep.
You're listening to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal.
Something's not right, man. Something's not right. Something's bullshit here, and I don't believe it. I don't either, Eric.
Honestly, this crazy shit could be completely. I believe it.
Disclaimer, we reserve the right to be wrong, ladies and gentlemen.
12 voicemails today.
12? You think you know the whole story? Think again. Think again.
Now your hosts, Eric and Everett.
And I'm on.
Oh yeah. I forgot about him.
Let me do the intro.
Quantum of time.
Welcome to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal.
And other weird shit.
And other weird shit.
Does this-
AlignetMedia.fm production. We are back. Now go ahead.
Well, does this today's topic? What does that fall under to you guys?
Weird shit.
Whatever the
Oh,
fuck
this is
we
a-
wanted to.
It doesn't fall under cults or conspiracies.
All right.
Closest, I guess, would be paranormal, but it's not paranormal. It is exactly the normal of the universe. I mean,
Yeah, it can't get any more normal than
but
this.
what's weird is the concepts with time, and I thought we think it's fun to talk about the shit like that.
You didn't consult
blows
with
your
me,
mind.
by the way, before you came
Well,
up
we
with
never
this.
do.
All right,
No,
that's true.
Of course not.
we like to give you no notice before the show.
All right, I'm completely extemporaneous here.
Exactly.
No research.
Exalted.
Mr. 137
Resulted
IQ.
what?
You got 137?
No, I thought he did.
I don't know what
I
he
said
has.
high 130s, low 140s.
I'll say I took
I don't know. I don't put any faith in fucking.
All right, I'll tell you
IQ.
what, Mr. Arm Wrestling.
Oh,
Why don't we
God.
all take an IQ test? I'll bet I beat both of you guys.
Not put together.
Or you get to add yours
put
up.
together.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
bitch.
yeah, right.
Say something now, huh?
Mr. 130, we're closer to like 180 between us.
Yeah, together you guys would score in the high 170s.
I took like 3 in a row one day on
Okay.
online ones.
Yeah, but you know what I hate about those online ones? You take the damn things and you're done with it. To get your
Be right back,
score.
guys.
I paid the $1.
Oh, did you?
You fucking
So,
right, bud.
Only $1?
You
Like
out?
$9.
You out?
I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. The $1 for the one, and then like
What'd you
$3
get?
for the one. I got 131 on all 3 of them, different sites.
Ooh, wow. See, now, I like those questions, like fingers are to hand as twigs are to,
Yeah,
trunk, branch, right?
Yeah, those
but
are
the
great.
ones that get me pretty much all the time, I'm going to miss one, is like fold up this, fold this into a box
I know
or whatever.
exactly which one you're talking about.
I'm not good at those.
So the ones I don't like are like
Spatial, I guess, whatever they call spatial.
Yeah, there'll be like 12 squares in a square, and it'll give you like 3 of the squares.
Yeah.
And then it'll give you another square with like 6 of them filled in with different, whether it be
Well,
like
the
a
patterns,
fucking leaf.
right?
Exactly.
Oh, I'm good at those.
Well, okay, so then it's like asking you to infer on
Yeah.
like a
What's the
24.
next?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good at them, and I'm good at what's the next number in the series. Those are good. I'm good at those. And
Yeah, but those are always the same. It's primes or it's fucking double
I don't know.
plus
Sometimes they've got. They had one that was really good. It was like.
one. My problem with those tests is you can study for them. You can figure out the type of questions, and you can pretty
And that's
much.
not what an IQ is.
Right.
Yeah, you can. I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, it depends on.
Armand,
good
you
at taking-
yourself
The
should
more
know
you take, the
difference
better you
between
get.
knowledge and wisdom.
No, but you just get good at taking these IQ tests. That's all. That doesn't make
That's
you
all it
smart.
proves.
You just get a
Exactly
higher IQ. That's all. I definitely think you can do that.
No, I
In
agree.
fact, as more you take, you start finding some of them repeat.
Oh yeah, they use the same question.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit, dude. It's all to sell ads on internet sites, is what these.
Yeah,
IQ
but if it
tests
gets you in Mensa and gets you laid, it's worth doing.
Who in the hell, what girls do you know they're going to go, oh, you're in Mensa?
Yeah,
You know that's gonna get you laid? Is Donna out there? Is Donna and
She
all,
is.
all our
It has
other
nothing to
girls?
do with Mensa,
Girls, would you screw a guy just because he's in Mensa?
Okay, so girls, we have a question.
Yeah, that's a girl for
my
the
God.
girl.
Female in
And
the
guys,
chat.
too. I know
you
guys
be
would say no.
Would you be attracted to a man strictly because he was in Mensa?
Yeah.
And if you don't know what Mensa is,
Would you be attracted to a woman strictly because she was in any club?
No.
Well, Mensa.
I mean,
I
that
don't know.
would
You seem
literally
to
have
think
nothing
so.
to do with it.
It could be the billionaires club. I mean, well, maybe.
Well,
are
I'm
you
not saying
nuts?
it's
Wait a
attracted.
second, wait a second.
I'm not
That's
saying
very
I'd be attracted. I wouldn't say it's
I'm
attractive.
attracted.
But I would. I would
propose right
love the
here.
money.
Yeah.
I'll propose right here.
Anybody in the
says,
Billionaires Club, I don't care what you look like.
Donna says no. Probably a pompous ass in Mensa.
Oh, man, shit. Yeah, that's, I mean, are you in Mensa?
I was, yeah.
Really?
I passed the test, yeah.
There it is.
But I didn't get in because it was like $50.
Fucker.
I was too cheap to be in Mensa. They said you
Fuck that
qualify.
shit.
I said, okay. They said, well, it's $50, or I never sent it in.
Remind me to tell you what I did yesterday cheaply. Anyways,
Cheap.
yeah, it was good.
Let's get into it, boys. Time.
All right.
Today's episode is
It's
about time
2:24.
in the PM.
Yeah, but what? That's our time.
That's our time.
That's Central Daylight Time.
CDT, yeah.
Well, sort of.
Speaking of
every
which-
one of us has our own frame of reference for time.
How about, do you agree with me that daylight time's a stupid crock of shit? Isn't that the stupidest thing anybody ever came up with?
I don't think so.
You don't like daylight savings time?
No, it's ridiculous. It's
I like
stupid.
having in the summer the nights go to 9 o'clock. What's wrong with that?
I'd rather. Why not have the morning? It's better in the morning. I think. Why not have it
That's
light
like
at
your-
5:30?
I mean, that's like your opinion. It was originally done for farmers, right?
I think it was originally done. Well, I think Ben Franklin came up with it. Yeah, and then they did it in World War One. I know Woodrow Wilson started it again. For a while, we didn't do it.
Let's ask Google, the knower of all. It says, I wrote, why is there a daylight savings? And it says the main purpose of daylight savings time, called summertime, is to make better use of daylight. We change our clocks, blah, 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 blah. Different countries have different change dates.
Right.
Fuck
Some
you,
states
Google.
don't have it. I don't
Give
think
us
Arizona
nothing.
uses it. Parts of Indiana don't use it.
Right. So I actually, on our last Joker Smoker Toker, I was talking to somebody in the chat, and it was Jessica, and she was like, yeah, it's weird Illinois doesn't have it. And I was
No,
and she-
Indiana. Illinois
Right. Well,
has
that's what I said. I'm like, no, I'm looking it up. You don't have it.
Right, Indiana. Parts of it.
We do.
Yeah, parts of it though. And some, and like a few counties in, is it Florida? One of the other states. A few counties don't have it either, but Arizona does not have it.
Well, that's what I said. I've changed the clock since I was a kid. I can remember, that's part of.
Yeah, we've always
But
had
they've
it.
made it. But even
Fall
then, it was
back,
like
jump forward.
yeah,
forward,
but
fall
it used
back.
to be like 6 months each. Now some are like 4 months
How
standard
long
time.
it is? Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't do.
What,
We
they
don't
changed
set
the
our
date?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
don't
they
set our
changed the
clocks
date.
back till like November. It used to be like the first weekend in
March,
October.
it's November to March now. I
Really?
believe.
Yeah, it used to be October and April.
So what they're doing then is they're trying to make the days about the same length because of the seasonal changes, right?
No.
why don't you just do it year
Because the
round?
day's always going to be the same length.
Nah, that's not what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to make the same amount of daylight.
That is not possible.
Right.
Well, it's possible if. Well, no, it's not possible. But you can get more daylight out of it if you're
More
changing.
usable.
That's what they're saying, and I think that's bullshit.
Yeah. More
What's
usable.
the difference of having it at like 6 in the morning or at 8 at night? I don't know. I mean, who's
Well, I mean, who fucking works out at 3 a.m.? You know.
2:30?
Oh. Anyway, so yeah, what is time? And that sounds like an easy question. You know what I mean? Like, everybody knows what time is. It's fucking time. It's a duration. But when you really break it down and think about it, it's more than it's actually less than that. It's all time is a way for us to judge change or movement or what would you say earlier?
Well,
Everett?
change is perfect.
Change, yeah.
Change in state.
Okay, but why is the arrow of time only one way? That's
Well,
what,
things don't happen backwards. Things
Why
don't
not?
naturally. I don't know why not.
because
No
of
one
entropy.
knows.
It's the second law
Well,
of thermodynamics.
entropy is a good
That's,
point.
We'll get into
that's
that.
what they
We
usually
got a whole
Oh, you do?
section, yeah.
Okay. So
The
you guys did
chaos
do a
to
little
order
research.
is impossible. Yeah.
Right. In a closed system.
Yeah. Near the end of the show, we'll be talking about entropy and shit like that. So
Are we talking about time paradoxes?
could definitely want to spend a little time
Well,
talking
that's
about
the
time
whole
travel.
point. Yeah,
The
right?
smallest possible length of time. Can you explain that?
I
to
think
us,
Everett, he figured this out himself.
Yes, this is a complete me thing. Nobody else figured out. This
is
definitely
what-
not
Right, this
was
is
it?
the Everett theory.
Not Max Planck. It was me.
Well, I don't think Planck knew about this.
No, it was
somebody else
No,
came
this
up.
was his. This was
Oh, really?
his,
This
yeah.
came up. Well, that makes sense.
Pretty
Yeah.
sure. Let me double check.
It's got to. Yeah, that makes sense.
Who came up with Planck?
It's got to be
10.
there.
Time.
Plankton.
Plankton from. Hold on. Man, fuck this. I should have did this beforehand. I don't know. I thought it was Max Planck, but I don't know.
That doesn't even sound like a real name.
Yeah, Max Planck, sure. Planck, I think is how you.
Oh, it's Planck time. Frank Bonks.
No.
Well, you know what Planck is? Isn't that stuff, the sediment at the bottom of the, or it's a really bad wine?
Tequila?
No, you call it Planck. It's like a really
know that.
shitty wine.
Dude, I really think I just had deja vu because I feel like he said the same thing on an episode that we were talking about the same thing.
Planck?
No. God damn
Wine?
it, Armand. Not wine either. Never mind.
dregs in
Never
a
mind.
bottle?
Just carry on.
All right. Smallest length of time is a Planck time, right? Planck second
Sure.
By definition.
is that how long it takes a photon traveling at the speed of light
Which
to
is
cover
in a vacuum.
in a
Fastest
vacuum, right? The fastest possible particle with speed of light
traveling,
traveling the distance of 1 Planck length.
which is the only, the
is-
shortest possible length that has any meaning.
Right. You can't really subdivide past the Planck length.
Because then you get into quantum.
The quantum mechanics
Right.
and all that shit. This is
Length means nothing.
right. So a Planck second is 0.0 and 43 zeros 1 seconds. 10 to the negative
10 to the negative 43.
Hey.
So that's pretty much fucking imperceivable. It takes, and do I have it right here? Let's see. Something like a few trillion Planck times for 1 blink.
Okay, makes
Wait,
sense.
what? A few trillion Planck times for
A
a blink?
trillion Planck
And then
times.
define 1
Well,
second.
holy shit.
You have to define 1 second. to
Correct.
get
I do have the definition of 1 second.
cesium atom, based on cesium atom.
Correct. It is the duration of 9,192,631,770 periods of the radiation corresponding to this transition between 2 hyperfine levels of the ground state of the cesium-133
All right, break
atom.
it down. Dumb it up a little bit.
I have no fucking clue.
Dumb
what
it
that
up,
means.
Armand.
Yeah, that's a tough one
Come on,
there.
dumb it up.
Transition between the 2 hyperfine.
Of the ground
I
state.
think
yeah.
I guess it has something to do with like obviously decay of a cesium atom.
I would assume something like that, decay or fucking rotation of the electrons.
Or
around.
how they came up with that is, boy, that's a good one.
Beats the shit out of me, but that's what it is. And it is defined and it is constant in our gravitational constant. So to me, using that definition for second is the only reliable means
Yeah.
to judge time.
Well, that's why it's the SI unit of time.
Correct.
Second.
Correct.
Definitely can't use a day.
So for instance, Unix computers, they start their
It's a
time on those.
Unix.
Their time started in 1972.
Castrated computer.
Their time started in 1972, and whenever you do like a time command in the command prompt, it gives it to you in the number of seconds since the 1972 starting of Unix.
Really?
So when you do like you're doing programming like a PHP, there's a function you can do to take the number of seconds the system reports and convert that into actual date. It's pretty fucking crazy.
I think that's a eunuch anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
EUNUCH.
We're talking about someone dickless. Did you guys say?
Yeah, Kyle
castrated.
Who got castrated?
Nobody.
A eunuch.
Oh.
They got their balls off. He has them in a little bag.
Who does?
Kyle Gass. Go ahead.
Actually, a eunuch can get a hard on. I don't think he can ejaculate. I believe that's.
I don't know about
But that's it's true. But what was I gonna, 1972 for a long time was like the longest year ever because not only was it a leap year, but it was also they added a leap second.
Leap second, right?
And I think
they did one in
that again.
91. Yeah.
Was it 91? No, that's not a leap year. I think they did it in 2012 again.
Last leap second.
2012.
They added a second?
Yeah, they added a second at the
You're
end
right.
of the
It's
year.
1972. You're right. Okay.
Okay, I think they did it again though. Not too long ago. 2012, 2016.
Let me look here. Leap second. Blah, 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 blah. December 31st, 2016.
There you go. So it's another. So it's just as long, I guess, technically.
So in 2019, we're lagging behind. The UTC lags behind the TAI, which is the International Atomic Time, by 37 seconds. So we're behind the International Atomic Time.
Well, they're going to have to, I guess, they have to straighten that out. Don't they?
Eventually, we'll get there. You know, a couple thousand years, we'll add a fucking day. I mean, that's what we do.
Well, that's why they added leap years because in Egypt, back in Egypt, they had to do it because those guys, the Nile would flood at certain times a year and stuff like that, and all of a sudden, August is winter because it adds up. So
Right,
that's why
right.
they added, year after year, they added the.
Who do you think the first civilization was to? This isn't in the
I
notes.
already
or anything.
know.
Who? The
Sumerians.
Very good.
The Mayans, right?
No, Sumerians.
Oh, Sumerians. What about had a calendar?
They were not a calendar, so to speak. They were the first one to judge the passage of time. They used a moon-based system, 30-day months, subdivided down, but it was 30 days.
Sidereal month is what, 27 days?
I do not know exactly how long a sidereal month is. Let me look.
Well, lunar. That's not sidereal. Lunar. A lunar month is almost 28 days.
Lunar month is almost 28 days.
Yeah.
Right?
27 point something 20.
Yeah, 27 and a quarter days for a sidereal month, which is for the moon.
Right.
So like we were talking about before, seconds, as we recall, are the only thing worth talking about. You can't say it's been X amount of days. I don't find that to be.
Because all the constants are based on SI unit of sec. The three basic units of SI are meter, second, kilogram.
Right.
So everything else is based on those three.
Correct. So what I find interesting about days is it's a completely subjective term. What type of day? What planet's day? So Venus has what? What was the note on Venus here?
It's
It's 243
years,
days
yeah.
for it to rotate one time. That's a length Earth days.
Yeah.
243 Earth days, which is we can't say Earth days either because I don't find that to be super accurate.
right, but you said it took more time to rotate one time to make a rotation than it did to
Yeah,
Right,
the
it's
year
weird.
is longer than the day.
No, it's years shorter
Shorter than a day,
So
yeah,
it's
of course.
225 Earth days for one Venus year.
Right.
And it's 243 Earth days for a Venus day.
Oh, that's
'Cause
fucked
it
up.
rotates very slowly.
Not tidally locked, but fucking getting there. Huh?
Yeah,
God
almost.
damn.
So I found that really fucking cool.
So-
but on Earth, though, we have two different
Which is
types of
another
days.
reason global warming is not on. It's always says that Venus.
There we go.
There's global warming because of the
Runaway
Runaway
That's
greenhouse.
bullshit.
Why is it?
Because the side of Venus, which is not even facing the sun for 140 something days, half the time,
but they have
is
double
just
winds.
as hot as the other side.
Convection wins.
Of course.
Yeah.
And the winds are not that fast either because it's not spinning very fast. So, you're not gonna ever, that's not
Venus
why it's
doesn't-
hot.
So hang on. So Venus doesn't have a
Greenhouse
atmosphere
sure
at
it
all,
does.
right?
It's got a 90.
Thick.
Its atmosphere is 97 times as thick as ours. That's why it's
could-
hot.
So
you
wait.
could put like a fucking space station basically in the upper atmosphere without any kind of
Float.
Yeah, it would float. It's so thick.
So
Being on the surface of Venus is like being what, a mile below the ocean,
Yeah, dude,
something like
it'd
that.
fuck you
we
up.
learned like an alternator spinning around. Our liquid core makes our
Yeah.
Dynamo
ozone.
effect.
matter,
It doesn't
right?
create our
Magnet-
ozone. It's our magnetic field.
Magnetic field.
Okay, so but that's from the spinning of the Earth,
Spinning of the core.
spinning of the
Yeah.
core.
The
Okay,
core, right.
What's the
Iron
significance
nickel
there?
core.
Right.
No,
Solid
nothing.
iron core with a.
The reason
I was gonna
Venus
go somewhere
is
with that, but
so
I'm wrong.
hot at the surface is because the atmosphere is so thick. PV equals nRT. That's the ideal
So you think
gas
it's just
law.
the straight out pressure of the
pressure
is
right.
causing the heat? I mean,
pressure times volume equals nRT.
Yeah, but whenever
constant.
you compress gas, it turns cold. Think about anything like oxygen, helium, nitrogen, any of that compressed
Go out
goes
and
cold.
feel your air conditioner line outside your house. When you compress that shit, that fuck thing's cold.
Freon, yeah, Freon when it's compressed is cold. So I mean, what about that?
The ideal gas law is PV equals nRT.
All right.
So
let's
if
take a
pressure
look.
goes up,
Ideal
temperature goes up.
gas law. Boop, 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 boo. Do, 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 do. Yeah, that's what it says.
That's what it is. Sure.
Well, Maybe you ought to go work for NASA.
I don't want.
My IQ's not high enough.
They'd have chicks. Armand would have chicks on the moon.
Did you?
I'd have to get a Mensa card, and Donna doesn't like that.
It's not worth the fucking paper it's printed on.
and I gotta get laid.
Do you know there's 2 different types of days for Earth? There is the solar day and the sidereal day.
Right.
So the difference
Weekday and weekend day.
No.
Yeah, there's a big difference.
The difference is the solar day is the time it takes for the Earth to rotate about its axis. So just normally 360 degrees as reference to the stars out in the sky. That's a normal day, as you call a solar day. A sidereal day
That's the stars, right?
No, that's the solar day, isn't it?
Yeah, but sidereal is stars.
Oh, you're right. Sidereal is the stars.
Yeah, because it's
Backwards. Solar day is in relation to the sun. So let's start with sidereal. That's relation to the stars. We rotate 360 degrees. When you get back around to 1 degree, the stars are all in the exact same position. But the sidereal day doesn't count the day that way. It is what it takes to do 1 rotation in relation to the sun. Now, how this changes it up, a sidereal day is 4 minutes longer. So let's picture it like this. You have the sun in the middle, and you have your planet out there on the side. So as it turns, it does 1 rotation, and it goes a little bit further along, and think about it like a clock. It goes a little bit further on the clock.
yeah.
But this pointing to the center of the sun is not going to be the same. When you make that 360-degree loop, that same spot that was pointing to the center of the sun before is now slightly off. So whenever you take and reorientate, you going to do this on the camera? Here,
I was thinking about it.
I'll draw it out.
You're not an artist, though.
Why? Because it's rotating around the sun too?
No. So this is your normal day, right? It starts here, and it's equal. The center of the Earth, center of the sun.
Nobody can
That's the
see
start
that.
of your day. Start of your day. Sun, Earth. They're pointing at each other. 24 hours later, the next version of the Earth is moved a little bit further along, slightly higher up, and its center now, after it's moved its normal 360 degrees, if you draw that line to the center of the sun, it doesn't hit the center of the sun. So you have to adjust your angle. So it has to rotate a little bit further for the center of the Earth where you started before to point to the center of the sun. It takes 4 more minutes of rotation to reorientate to the sun.
So the Sunday. So the day by the solar day and the
It's 4 minutes longer versus the day by the stars.
Right.
So that's, again,
We should
the
have a
weirdness
star
of
day.
the term day.
Yeah, day's not accurate. You can't use that. You should 24 hours because accurate
What
hours
planet
are
has
essentially.
the shortest day?
Well, I would.
Ooh, I don't know.
Jupiter,
What's its day?
10 hours.
10 hours? This fucker's spinning, man.
Now, they also had a term, like once we go to Mars, theoretically, is it a molar or whatever, a molar day or something? They have a term.
Molars are
'cause
back
it's like
here.
600, well, yeah, but it's something different. It's like 600 something days.
Martian day? That's what I would call it. I don't know.
No, that's a Martian year.
Okay.
Martian
okay.
day is actually pretty close to ours.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But Jupiter spins the fastest. So its day is the shortest.
Well, yeah. So 10 hours.
10 hours, yeah.
Fuck, man, that's like a what? 4-hour workday. I'm okay with that.
Pretty short
Let's see
weekend.
if we'll move line up to.
How about this?
Jupiter.
In the time of dinosaurs, the year, like to go around the sun, took 370 days.
Well, so 65 million years ago it was 370 day years.
Right, a little bit longer.
A little bit long.
So due to the effects of the moon pulling its gravity on us, it's causing a drag.
Slow it down.
It's slowing us down, so our year's going a little bit slower now. So it takes 365 days.
Look, here's something I never quite understood about how like the moon is giving us drag. It's affecting the
Gravitational drag.
the tidal.
Tides, right.
Okay, so is there not enough water in our body?
What do you mean?
It's affecting all bodies of water like that. Like
You're being affected by it. That's why they say on the full moon, people,
But
the
it's
crazies come out.
minuscule.
the crazies come out.
Because of the gravitation of the moon fucks with people's brains.
Wouldn't they be able
It's
to
like the
replicate that?
No. Do you know a way to generate gravity?
Not currently. I don't.
You don't.
per
You
se.
don't, so.
I mean, somebody probably does.
and
You know
then-
Armand?
and then
gravity
theoretically-
generation.
Pardon me?
Can you generate some gravity for us today?
No, I can't.
If you can generate it, you could probably
If I
generate
could, I'd beat you at arm wrestling. So
I would say that if you can generate gravity, you could probably figure out anti-gravity. So
theoretically, is there a quantum of gravity? I think they're still worried about that. That's what they're looking for.
they
a graviton.
detected gravitational waves. So
Right.
that's close. That's close. We're getting close. Well, how that happened is 2 fucking black holes smashed into each other.
Yeah. No, I think it wasn't it. Originally
neutron star,
2
right?
two neutron stars.
Recently, they had one was a neutron star and a black hole. The black hole ate
wow.
the neutron
That's a
star.
good one.
Yeah,
I'd like to be around and see that.
I wouldn't. Nowhere close. The fucking
Time would go
explosion
very
from
slow.
that?
Yeah, time would be very slow for you if you were that close to that. Yeah, that's another thing. Gravity. You go. Time is a little slower. The farther you are.
For
like
instance,
the space
then
station.
your head,
Yeah.
time goes a little bit faster than your feet.
And I'm seeing the past you.
Well, that's another good point. Like when I'm looking at you right now, I'm not seeing present time Armand. There is amount of time it takes for the light to reflect off of you and get to my eyeballs. So
we're seeing you in the future. You're actually older than what we're looking at right now.
Right. No, you see me in the past.
Right.
Just like the sun.
Yeah,
when,
but he's
That's the point. We're seeing the past version of him.
Yeah,
when you,
he's
sit,
actually
where you
older.
stare at the sun, you're seeing the sun from 8.5 minutes ago. Yeah.
Which, if you were to, so here's a good one. This is what kind of fucked me up here, and I was talking to Everett about this. If you were able to Star Trek, beam me up, Scotty, transport yourself 65 million light years away to another point in the universe,
Instantly?
planet, whatever.
Instantly, somehow.
Instantly.
Wormhole,
Right.
we'll say.
That's important. Instantly.
Yeah.
Okay. And you had a telescope powerful enough to look back at the Earth, you'd see fucking dinosaurs.
Which is exactly right.
Right. Well, yeah. Yeah.
He had a little bit of trouble earlier thinking that he was actually going to time travel doing that, like he would see the future.
Well, no, it fucks you up when you really start to think about that. If you could instantly travel 65 million light years away and look back at the Earth with a telescope powerful enough to see it, you would see the fucking dinosaurs.
Why does that fuck you up? Because to me, it sounds perfectly normal if it takes 8 minutes from light to get to the sun to my eyes. Why wouldn't it take 65 more million years from the reflection of the light that hits our planet to reach wherever your point of reference
I get
is?
it now.
Okay.
I didn't get it then.
He's not fucked up anymore. He's
not-
straightened himself out.
I had a moment of clarity.
He got.
You know what alcoholics call it?
How many hits did? Yeah.
Here's what I was telling
How
you
many
earlier,
hits
too.
did it take?
Think about how long we've been beaming electromagnetic signals, light, basically, out into space.
Yeah,
100
radio
years or
too.
so.
Radio.
One of the most powerful early signals we had, though, 1936 Olympics. So people roughly about, 80-something light years away are finally getting the broadcast of Hitler at the Olympics.
Well, that's what
It
they're
took
wondering.
8 years, and that's their live TV for us right now.
Well, that's why they're wondering how come we haven't heard from anybody. Is anybody getting these?
Is anybody getting? Yeah, I mean, that's
Well, the
the thing
radio
that-
waves bounce. I guess they go out into the atmosphere, out into space too, but they bounce on the ionosphere.
Right, they go out in space.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean,
eventually,
that's
I
how
think
you
they go out.
communicate with the fucking space shuttle. You know what I mean, or the International Space Station. They don't use LiDAR for that, as far as I know.
Why not?
And then when you're watching a game on TV, a baseball game, theoretically, because that microphone's right behind the plate, you hear that guy hit the ball before the guys in the outfield, before the people in the bleachers.
Oh,
do.
totally.
'Cause
Yeah.
it's almost instantaneous for it to get. It travels at the speed of light, the microphone to your TV.
Well, no, there's delays. Taking away the delays of television loop and
Even better, when you're in the outfield, if you're sitting center field at the ball game, that crack, you can see the guy
Yeah.
swing his bat before
see the
hear-
ball enter the air before you hear it.
hear the fucking crack.
Which is a problem with if you watch movies, there's always the lightning and the thunder at the same time.
Right, well, it
that
had to be
never
right on
happens.
fucking top of you.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's the same thing too, and they did it in movies plenty of times where a guy realizes he's shot and then he hears the crack of the gun. That's pretty accurate.
Or the ricochet or whatever.
Or whatever it is. Like he'll look down and he's bleeding and didn't know what happened, then hear bang, because the guy was a mile away when he took the shot, and it took 2 seconds longer for the fucking sound to get there than
So
it
I'm
did the
wondering how
bullet.
fast does a bullet travel?
Depends on the bullet.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
the
Was
grain
that
and
how
all
many?
So
How
some
many
of them-
times the speed of light does it fire?
No, it doesn't. Times
Not
the
speed of sound. Does it travel?
So let's look at a
200
9mm round.
So, your rifles are like 2,200 feet
Well,
per
a
second.
9mm round is 1,500 foot a second.
Okay, so
Okay.
rifles like 20.
And what's the speed of sound?
Speed of sound is
Mach?
343 meters a second, which is roughly what? 1,100, we'll say 1,100 feet a second.
Yeah.
So you're looking at its 9mm bullet travels 400 feet a second faster than sound.
Okay.
So over the course of a mile, that's roughly 3 times that length.
So we'll look at a Barrett 50 cal.
Looking at 3 seconds. What's a Barrett 50 cal then?
That's the.
But that's a 50 BMG round, not a Barrett. The Barrett's the gun, the BMG's the round.
Exactly. So, well, yeah, but you know what I mean. The round. So that's. I'm just talking.
50
That's
cal, right.
the grain and everything.
It doesn't matter. Some bullets travel fucking 3 times that fast. Some planes are traveling hyperspeed. What's the hyper?
Hypersonic? That's
yeah,
5
hypersonic.
times.
Right. You got supersonic, which is what, just over the sound barrier.
Yeah,
Hypersonic
supersonic.
is 5 times. What's the big one they got now? It's like 17 times.
Wow.
Their drones
What
are-
is it? A drone? Holy
Well, they're
shit,
using
that's
it.
fast.
They're using it for kinetic weapons. Like it's not quite like how fast, say, a railgun is, but they have drones that can go something like 17 times the speed of sound that you can't even detect. yet.
Drones.
Right.
No shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research. And right now, the scientists in the CIA, they're looking for ways just to detect them.
Wow. Yeah,
Think about how hard it would be to detect that. They've gotten to the point now. Once these things pass what they call the ramp up speed, you can start to detect them. But at that point, we still haven't any way to affect it. There's no targeting system nor weapon.
that can go that fast. You can
So
detect
those
it, but you
weapons
can't.
generally they happen out of nowhere. It's
Well,
like
you
got to
have a shooting solution.
Well, right. So even like a railgun would be your best bet,
round.
but you got to be able to detect that in the atmosphere and come up with your trajectory to hit that thing as it's coming in. That's fucking hard.
It's like a shooting solution, like a submarine.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
See, I don't understand this. You said at the time of dinosaurs, a year was 370 days. Over time,
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense
the
there.
moon's gravity is so you would think it's
It would
longer.
have been like 360 days. It's probably a typo.
Yeah. That makes because you're saying it's going slower, so
I got that link right here. Let
now
me
we're
find it.
365.
Probably typed it out wrong. But you get the point. Let me see. Dinosaurs.
So
it was.
the spin of the Earth, I think, is slowing down too, isn't it?
Yes,
That's
it
what
is.
he's talking about, right?
No,
Length of the day, length of the
is
year, right.
revolution around the sun. One
see.
circuit around the sun.
So Earth's rotation changes. So it looks like in the cryogenian era, 900 million years ago, the days per year was 486 days per year.
Holy
so
shit.
it's definitely getting shorter.
So 1 billion years ago, we were at 486 days a year.
Right. 900 million or 486 days a year. This isn't finished. Hours per day is interesting, though. So the days are getting longer. So during the Upper Cretaceous, which 70 million years ago, the hours per day was 23.7. That could be what the
Oh, so
drag
the days
effect
are
was.
getting longer.
The years are getting shorter.
Yeah.
So that makes more sense than what this fucking up there, the way they said that.
Not the mama.
What? Dinosaurs?
No, go ahead.
Dinosaurs? Is that
Yeah.
right? Okay. Past that page now. Good. This was a dumb fucking thing I found on the internet. It looks like Eric's moved it up.
I have moved it up so that
Why'd you
way-
move that up?
Wait. What?
If a person sleeps on average for 8 hours per night, they will spend approximately, because this was the dumbest fucking thing I read today.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering why you put it in there, but I moved it up just because. Because it went with time facts, not dilation or perception of time.
Well, it's not really a fact. It's a fucking duh.
But, would that not be a fact?
So here, let me read this fact out real quick. It's fucking stupid. If a person sleeps for an average of 8 hours per night, they will spend approximately 229,961 hours sleeping in their lifetime, which amounts to about 1/3 of their lives. No fucking shit. You
Because
spend a
8
third of your
hours
day
is three,
sleeping,
yeah.
then you spend a third of your life sleeping. No fucking shit. Why do you even bother giving you a number of average hours? You know what I mean?
I forgot how many hours or days in your life you spend shaving.
Ah, fuck.
That really sucks.
Not me.
I spend about 3 minutes a morning, so 15 minutes a week.
Oh,
Not
you
even
shave
me.
every day?
Every day.
Not me.
And that's all it takes you?
I do it in the shower, man.
3
Quick.
minutes, huh?
Real quick.
Well, fuck.
Every day. You ought to do it. Just do it in the shower. You shower every morning?
I always
Yeah.
I'll miss a spot if I
I
did that.
shower sometimes at night and in the morning.
Weird.
Fuck it.
So let's see. The theory of relativity, this was an interesting fact, suggested that before the Big Bang, 13.7 billion years ago, space and time did not exist, and then all matter was packed into a tiny ball.
Why does the theory of relativity suggest that?
It doesn't. That's the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
No, well-
that's from the cosmic microwave background radiation, isn't it? Isn't that where they got the 13.7?
No, well, what they're saying is using the theory of relativity to decide how the particles have moved and what happened before the Big Bang, how it was just a singularity.
Yeah.
That's how they figured that there was no space and time. So, let's see. Since time is measured by motion in space, there was no time without a moving cosmos. So what they're saying, there was no time existing before the actual Big Bang because there was no space to have movement in. Everything was condensed so ultra-packed there was no movement until the explosion of the Big Bang.
Do you believe
All in
that?
theory.
I
I don't
would
know
like
if I
to
even
have
believe in
seen
the
it.
Big Bang. But
I would like
I
to
don't
have seen
buy
it.
that.
Just
buy
observe that Big Bang from a couple fucking long ways away.
Wasn't that Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy where they went back? I know they went to the end of the universe. There was a restaurant at the end of the universe you could time travel to and go watch the end of the universe. It was a great place. People love going there.
I would.
It would be pretty popular.
Let's see. What else we got here that's kind of interesting? Yeah, Eric already said that one. Time dilation. Let's get into that.
Now this one is a fucked up thing in my opinion. Time dilation, because that's fucking weird that you can just, I don't know.
That's a theory of relativity.
What the problem is here is people think of time as a constant. It travels the same, or not travels. What's the word I'm looking for? Elapses in the same speed for all observers,
Yeah.
which is just not true.
Right.
Oh, nice. Very
The
good.
only thing that's the same for all observers is the speed of light.
True.
That's the same.
Which
that's
we're not going to get into that today, but that's a fucky one. There's plenty of good examples I could give for that, but we're not going to get into the speed of light today and why it's the same for somebody moving at half c as opposed to somebody at relative rest.
Well, it's very simple. Allow me to
Go for it if you want.
expatiate.
Expatiate.
You're on a train, right? Okay.
The old train and the
All right.
platform example.
I'm coming at you at 60 miles an hour.
Sure.
I throw a baseball at you
At 60 mile an hour.
60 mile an hour. So the ball's coming at you 120 miles an hour, right? 60 plus 60? That's correct.
Right.
Okay. That doesn't work for time.
True.
If I'm moving at
Doesn't
the
work for light.
Light, yeah, light. I'm moving on a train that goes the speed of light.
Okay.
Okay, and I throw the baseball at you at 60 miles an hour. It's not
gonna-
going at the speed of light plus 60.
No, it's no.
So
Right.
it's going
Speed
at
of
Well,
light.
why not?
Because the speed of light's the fastest you can go.
Okay, but
That's
how do you
it, right?
explain that the ball's not going faster?
Well, you just
Something changes.
You just say, "Look, dumbass, speed of light's fast you can go."
Time is not the same for you as the guy on the train.
Right.
That's why the time changes.
You observe it differently. than the
Right.
person.
Time changes, not the. That's the
like
thing.
it. That's
Time
nice.
slows down.
Yeah,
it must slow down.
I
It has
thought
to.
Interstellar did a good job of not really explaining it, but kind of showing what time
Illustrating it, yeah.
showing what time
So,
dilation
That's from the
was.
gravity. Of
Did
course.
you see
That's
that movie Interstellar?
Yeah, I hated it.
Where they
Really?
Boring as hell.
Ugh. It was
Stupid.
okay. It wasn't that great.
Wow.
It was kind of boring actually. If you think
Yeah,
about it.
nothing happened. Okay.
But they'd spent some time.
Except time dilated. It sure did. Man,
They had caught one of the signals from somebody who apparently had went through this wormhole before and got near this black hole. There was a planet orbiting this black hole where the signal was at. They dropped down on the surface of the planet that's orbiting this black hole. But due
was
to
it a black hole or a neutron star again?
It was a black
it
hole.
was a black hole.
What? All right.
Pretty goddamn sure anyway. It was a black hole. Yeah, 'cause-
Yeah, it was a black hole
yeah, it
for
was a black
sure.
hole.
It was there. Yeah.
But while they were on the surface of this planet, they were only there for what, minutes?
No, an hour.
Was it something like an hour?
an hour.
It wasn't a long time. It was the one that had the giant waves. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the guy on the ship had something like, what, 20 years had passed in the
Yeah,
amount of time he'd been sitting
20
there?
plus years.
Which means
yeah.
you're going. Of course, that's not from the going to speed of light. That's from the gravity.
Yeah, exactly. That's because
Gravity bends time too, or dilates it.
Right, same difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why the people in the space station are a little bit younger than you, or their time doesn't
Mm-hmm.
go quite as fast as ours.
Yeah, but because of a black hole has so much gravity to the event horizon has so much gravity. That's what you know what I mean.
Let me ask you this, Armand. If the space station wasn't orbiting at a relativistic 17,000 miles an hour,
Yeah.
how much would time be affected then? Because you've got not only the less gravity, but you've now increased the speed of the object to the point where it's gaining gravity more or less from its speed. So again, slowing down time. I mean, it has to work that way. There's just the equation. So think about it. Whenever you move faster towards the speed of light, your time slows down.
Right.
Yeah, but how are you gaining gravity?
You're not gaining gravity.
That's what you just said.
Well, that's not what I meant then.
Okay.
When you're going around the Earth, it's roughly 17,000 miles an hour or so when
Yeah.
you're orbiting. That speed is way faster than a stationary person is. So whenever you add that fucking speed, now that person has a perceived higher like gravitational or whatever what's the word I'm
Oh,
looking
it's
for?
dilation. It's time dilation, but not
Centripetal.
due to gravity. It's due
There
to
you
the was it centropy? Is that what you said?
Centripetal force.
Centrifugal or centripetal? Yeah.
Centrifugal, I think. That's what keeps you moving perpendicular to. That's why you spin around and
Yeah.
the stays. Centripetal though is the
Inward.
force is bringing it in.
Inward,
Yeah.
right.
Once at the degree
I didn't know
coming
that was
in.
what it was called.
You guys ever fuck around with Wolfram Alpha at all? You ever heard of that, Armand?
What's
It's
it called?
Wolfram Alpha. It's a computational search engine type of thing that's out there on the internet. Check out wolframalpha.com. Basically, you can write in plain English like a thing. How many apples do I have if I start with, let's say, 67 and sell 4?
And cell 4. I'm gonna go with
Yeah,
59.
What?
You're way off. It's computing. It
Wrong.
takes a long time for this, apparently.
You
What-
got 67 and you sold 4?
Right. And
You
it's
said 67?
Yes.
Oh,
I
said 63.
I'm going to drop your IQ again.
63.
Where are my results here?
But what Wolfram?
63.
Is that the name of it? Wolf? What is
Wolfram Alpha. WOLFRAM.
Wolfram is tungsten. That's German for tungsten.
Is it?
Why'd they pick that name?
I have no clue why they picked it.
Okay.
But when I was fucking around with time dilation today, you can use Wolfram Alpha to they have a time dilation calculator. So I started to wonder how gravity around a black hole affects time dilation. So I went in and asked it, what is the, explain a 100,000 solar mass black hole. And it gives you, let's type in there, 100,000 solar mass black hole.
Where the fuck are you finding this at?
I'm just typing it in.
You could probably just put that anywhere and get that.
Right,
Whatever.
you can.
Google it or whatever.
You can, but it gives you the horizon radius, which is the event horizon
Yeah,
radius.
That's pretty big.
What
for
the
that.
surface gravity is, and all kinds of stuff. What the temperature is, what all of that has to be for that size of a black hole.
But doesn't it matter if it's spinning and all that other shit? You have to have that too. The mass of the black hole,
Let's see if I have that. Here.
spin.
Yeah, that's all in here, man.
Okay.
So I feed these numbers into their gravitational time dilation calculator. What all they're asking for here is time and rest frame, which is the person who would be orbiting the black hole.
Yeah.
The gravitational acceleration, which is given to you by the other page on Wolfram Alpha, where I inputted 100,000 mass. So 100,000 solar mass black hole is 1.52 times 10 to the 8 meters per second squared gravitational acceleration. Way more than ours. The radius, I inputted that in and computed it. So the time and rest frame of 50 years, the person observing from the outside would have passed a total, 1,468 years for 100,000 solar mass. So it's not
50, so it's 30 times almost.
roughly for that. At least on 100,000.
Well,
let's change
what I
it
usually
to
look
10
at,
solar mass.
Yeah, but what I usually look at is the percentage of speed of light, and you have to get to pretty damn close for it to really,
True.
time dilation. You got to be like 90% or
90,
something.
yeah, or better.
Even that is what is it? Double?
So,
Does it double?
There was I don't know if I even have it here. I don't. there was an explanation about how if you went close to the speed of light traveling to Alpha Centauri and back,
Yeah.
where it would take you you would perceive it as 2.4 years, and the people on the
Can't
outside
go that fast. It's 4 years away, right?
But whenever you're traveling that fast, you perceive time differently.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Okay,
So from the outside,
travel.
4 years
You travel
for us.
8 years to get there and back.
right, round
Okay,
trip.
the people.
But you wouldn't
if
age
you're
that
going
much.
if you're going the speed of light,
Right, time
you would
slows
age
down.
8 years because you're
No, you
going
wouldn't.
4 years.
You would not, because as you're traveling at that speed,
Not to the people here though. The
You
people here
yourself,
would
from
age
your-
faster.
they would age faster.
It's
You would
perspective,
age slower.
guys.
Time for you when you're moving at that speed moves slower. So what would normally be from our outside takes light 4 years to get there. If you're
Yeah.
inside that, it works out to a little less than 2.5 years.
Okay.
So you do the round trip. What would seem like an 8-year round trip, you would age 5 years.
Check out the big
But not
brain
going
on
the speed
Everett.
of light. I mean,
Well, not quite the speed of light. Again,
yeah.
I don't have it right here. This is
Yeah.
just an example I read earlier today.
Yeah.
Moving it close to relativistic
Right. If
speeds.
you're like 9, I probably
90%, 95%,
yeah, whatever.
something like that.
Right.
But I found that very fucking interesting that as you move faster, like if it takes light 4 years normally, you wouldn't experience 4 years of time. You would experience well less than 4 years of time. Just one of the weird, freaky things with time and gravity
Wonder
and
how
speed.
and then of course I don't know what would happen to your mass. Your mass would increase though. That's why you can't go as fast as speed of light. You
Right,
have
'cause-
infinite mass.
Right, it's a squared equation. So whenever you
Wait, hold the fucking phone here. So like, if
That's
you
why nothing with mass can go faster than the speed of light or the speed of light because that means you have
plot
infinite mass.
EMC equals MC squared on a fucking graph, and it just goes up to a giant, basically going straight up,
Right.
where you can't give it enough energy to get that next little spot past light
okay,
speed.
right,
Because
right.
the faster, the more it takes for you to go faster and faster, your mass gets bigger and bigger. It's
So it
harder
takes
and harder to
more
move
energy.
it.
It would take infinite energy to move at that speed.
Right.
Gotcha.
That's why nothing with mass. Although tachyons move faster than speed. In fact, by
Theoretical.
definition, they have to.
Theoretical.
They can't move slower than the speed of light.
True, but they're theoretical.
I think they're there.
Well, they're
I've
better by
seen
the
them.
math. Oh, you've seen them?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Twice.
Just once yesterday.
I'm trying to think of any other examples of time dilation that are interesting. I can't really think of any though.
What, Armand? You got anything on time dilation?
Good call, Eric.
No, I don't have anything on time contraction either.
I wouldn't think so. Oh, really? I see the. I got the joke there. Pregnancy.
I don't know about. Is that what I was talking about?
Hey man,
apparently.
a cervix has to dilate so
All right.
much, and then you have
Can a
contractions.
transgender male get pregnant? Beto O'Rourke thinks so.
Ah,
I don't
They're
know.
entitled to abortions.
going
Did you
crazy.
see that?
no. What?
A transgender male is entitled to have an abortion.
It's fucking hot.
It's-
Anyone else
it's-
notice that?
Yeah,
Now,
it's been hot all day.
Let's do a show on that.
No,
Why it's hot in here?
we don't want to kill the show, Armand.
All right, sorry. I didn't want to bring the politics into it. It's funny. All right. What
Well-
about, are we doing time paradoxes, though?
We can talk about time
I don't see that
paradoxes.
on here.
It's not on there, but we only have so much time to jam
Well,
shit in here.
The best thing about time is always thinking about, can we go in the future? Can we time travel? I mean,
Time
that's
travel is somewhat possible. Like we were talking
more
about
by acceleration.
Right, either being by a black hole or being accelerated close to the speed of gravity. It's not so much time travel. It's just that your perception of time, your actual passage of time, is slower than the outside frame
So
of
theoretically,
reference.
you can go into the future. Theoretically,
Right.
the faster you go, you will technically go into the future.
Right. So say like we were in this room and we had a way to generate a black hole, get the gravitational effects, and we could somehow keep those effects from going outside this room, some sort of dampener, gravitational dampener. We would have basically created a time machine. When we step
For
out
the
that
future,
door,
but you can't go in the
right,
past.
who knows how to get to the fucking
That's
past?
the-
You have to travel around the sun at warp speed. Ask
have to
Kirk
go-
that one.
Oh, really?
You remember that?
Or Superman, you got to change the
rotate backwards?
That doesn't make sense.
That makes no fucking sense. That's the worst one ever.
Yeah, that was terrible.
That was the worst one.
But it
ever.
was okay.
But in Star Trek, remember Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, where they went after the whales back in
Oh,
the 80s?
yeah.
What they did is they went at fucking warp, slingshotted around the sun, and
Yeah,
somehow
but
time traveled.
the first time they actually went back in time was that one, the one where they're all acting like they were drunk.
Yeah, that was dumb,
amok
too.
time.
Yeah.
Sulu had the sword and everything, and the way they did
That was
it,
so good. Shirtless with the sword.
Yeah, there was because they mixed time and antimatter or something.
Right.
Supposedly, remember?
It was very dumb. I
That's
thought
where Scotty said my favorite line. I cannot change the laws of physics. I got to have 30 minutes.
Oh my God, you do the worst Scotty impersonation ever.
Well, that's
Your
like
Scottish
Scotty.
is rough.
Oh yeah, that's what's the matter with that?
It was very cartoony.
It's
Give
a
him
bricht
my
nicht
card.
licht out the Nacht.
Give him some Macard.
Who?
Hoodman.
Picard? He's not Scotty.
Macard.
Oh, McCord. Ah, you got to get the ball in the hole, McCord. I can't do it off the top of my head. I need a good script. Let's just say yours sucks. Mine's no better.
Torchlight said that's worse than my British accent, Armand.
Who said that?
Torchlight.
Is he British?
I don't know.
Well, it has to be British.
I don't know.
It's Scottish. That's not British.
But he said it's a worse accent. Your interpretation
It's
of
a
it.
bricht licht nicht out the Nacht.
Yeah, that's
Hoodman. That's not Scottish.
You like dags?
What's Dags?
Never mind. Go ahead.
What about the perception of time? Isn't it weird how time sometimes can be seen to move slower and faster depending on what you're doing, what mood you're in?
Yeah, so this is what you said to me earlier. You said the perception of time. I was like, today flew by.
Well, isn't that what Einstein said? When you're in the company of a pretty girl, a minute's like an hour's like a minute.
I have that wrote down.
Something
right
else.
Here.
Oh, you have it. Okay, well, read it then.
Actually, it was just I ad-libbed it. It said an hour with a hot girl seems like a second, but a second with your hand on a hot stove seems like an hour.
That's relativity. That was his definition of it.
That's one weird way to think about relativity.
Yeah. Did you know what when they asked him what is the most powerful force in the universe? You know what he said?
Don't say love.
No.
What did he say?
Compound interest.
Fuck, you ain't kidding.
Wish I could find a good compound interest thing and fly or go to the future.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Just get a sports.
Or go to the past.
Well, I'd like to go back one day. If I could tell the future, I keep telling Ocho Man, if you could tell the future one day, we'd all be billionaires.
Yeah.
Billionaires,
right there.
Sure. Well,
The stock market, whatever you want to do.
All I have to do is one stock.
Today. Do you think there's a drastic enough change in anything in the economy that you could bet on
Yes.
or do one day?
There's going to be one stock that
hold on.
goes
You
up.
need the seed money, though.
Right.
So that's the
So you
problem.
have one day.
Yeah, but if you knew the future, you
Give me 2 days.
How much money could you get if I told you right now? Go to the past right now.
Well, I don't want to go to the past. I
Go to one day.
If you told me what's going to happen in the future tomorrow,
That's not what I said. I'm saying
Well,
you
what's
get to
what's the
experience
difference?
today.
yeah.
And then re-experience it?
No, and then you get to go back and bet on something or
Okay.
do stocks or whatever.
Just tomorrow or yesterday.
So
I go
you
back?
Groundhog Day it.
Groundhog Day, but once.
One loop in the Groundhog Day.
Well, like you said, you need seed money, but I bet you could probably make 100 times your money.
Well,
Because
that's
some
not a
option.
billionaire.
No, lottery is the first part of your seed. That's easy. Then the second time you do this loop, it's got to be months later when you've collected
Oh,
your
well,
money.
if you know the lottery numbers, yeah, of course.
I mean, that's the easiest, quickest way. But then you don't get paid out your lottery for months and months and months. So to do the next one where you start going into the stock market with your real seed money, that's going to take some time.
Well, that's why these
But would
stock
you even
market
bother?
guys, the SEC is all over people because if I know,
You could play every lottery in the U.S. if you wanted and then fucking make billions in one day.
well, a lot of people, as I say, the stock market is a sure thing. If I know the earnings are coming out tomorrow and they're going to be good and my stock's going to jump 5 points, which a lot of these guys do, it's called insider trading.
Yeah.
And I tell you guys, you're going to make a ton of money.
Yeah. I mean, theoretically.
yeah.
But 5 points is different depending on the stock. 5 points on Google is nothing versus 5 points on fucking Dave Smith.
True,
on
but you
Tweet.
buy an option. You're buying like 1 million options or whatever, which are like a penny, a dime each. They're going to go up to $1.
That shit put
You make
Martha
10
Stewart
times your
in
money.
prison.
Well, that's why they do. The SEC's all over that shit.
There was a couple good episodes of Star Trek that dealt with some good time dilation as well. You weren't a DS9 fan, or
No, I know the originals. Well, the original, they went back to 1967, and Gary Seven, remember that? He was going to. Remember, you're not even really familiar with the original, are you?
I need to rewatch it all. It's only 3 seasons. You figure I'd get around to it. But,
Yeah.
But there was an episode of Next Gen called Inner Light. So they were, doing their thing, Star Trekking across the universe, and they come across this probe, right?
Going forward.
Only going forward. They can't find reverse. And they come across this probe, and it hits Picard with like a beam in the forehead, right? And what it did basically was implant memories into his, well, not really implant memories. It allowed him to live an entire 70-year life, basically, in an instance of a few minutes. So while he's laying on the floor, basically fucking unconscious, and they're trying to revive him, inside his head, he's living a whole life. So in a matter of minutes, he experienced 70 years. He learned to play the flute. He had a whole family.
Wow, yeah, family too, huh?
Right, he had a family, grandkids. People died. Yeah. Think about that. When you come out of that, it's more real to you.
Is that depressing?
I would think
imagine
it'd
that
be
would
horrible.
fucking depressing.
But at the end of it,
dude.
too, the species that created the probe that did this, at the end of it, when he's very old, getting ready to die, people that had died had come to visit him at the very end of it saying, "Thank you for doing this. This is something we sent out so people would remember our civilization. You've experienced our civilization, how we ended." Like he was part of the team that was trying to keep their civilization from ending,
Right.
create this rocket. But what turned out was he's helping them to create was actually the probe they sent out that hit Picard. So they had given the memory of a person lived on their planet. I just thought that was a
And
beautiful
so
episode.
he did the rest of the time. So he was technically like what, 150?
Well, in experienced years, yeah.
Wow, that would be cool, man. So it's like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. They time traveled and shit, and they went back and played 18 months and learned
Yeah,
how
but
to
there's
play
a problem
the
with that
fucking guitar.
too, though. But they lost that out of their life. So they left and came back to the same time. So
Same
for
point.
everybody
so they
there,
got older instead of
they aged 18 months,
Yeah.
but everybody in the audience had aged minutes.
big, thick
So
beard.
You got to be careful with that. There was another episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, though, that's kind of the flip side on the negative side of experiencing time like this. The character Chief O'Brien, you guys know him, Colomini?
Yeah, curly hair guy looks like a Jew.
Yeah, you know
Jewish
Colomini,
person.
right? He's an actor.
Jewish
Colm, some people call him
Like
Colmini.
Hebrew or whatever.
Any which way, he was visiting a planet, and he started
Semitic
asking a lot of
person.
questions, right? You know, because he's an engineer and very curious. But the government of that planet thought he was a spy doing espionage. So before our diplomats could do anything about it, they had already arrested him, tried him, and carried out sentence. And what they did is they implanted 20 years of memories in his head of being in prison, hard time.
Fuck that.
So what it was so fucking horrible. They put him in this prison cell with the dude, right? They didn't never know.
No, they didn't do any of that.
Well, they didn't do it. They
implanted
planted
That's
the
the
memory.
memory they put.
So he thinks he's been in this prison cell, which is a dirt floor fucking cave, more or less. They never see their captors. Their food gets basically shoved into the room. They never know when their food's coming. About 10 fucking years into it, he gets into a fight with his best friend, who, his only friend is the guy that's in the cell with him, and he kills him over food. He thought the guy was hiding food, but turned out the guy had hid enough food for both of them. It was fucking. So he had to live with that last 10 years knowing he killed that guy because the guy was hoarding away food for both of them.
Yeah, but did he age? I mean, because that's
he
the
did not
problem.
age.
That's the problem with prison. I mean,
He
it
did.
sucks, but you lose 20 years of your life.
Yeah.
That is it's the
Just
same
having
thing with
that
Picard.
memory is
he didn't
okay,
age.
It's a hell of a lot better.
But when he came out, he had more or less mentally aged that 20 years. He
take it.
He was having dinner with his family, doing the whole he's fucking socking shit away, covering it up. Doing I've been in prison for 20 years thing. He's real like his daughter came up to him, he snapped at her. He's PTSD'd from this.
Yeah, for sure.
And all that had happened is an hour's worth of time had passed, and he had experienced 20 years. That's the same thing in my opinion as Picard experiencing 70 years in the same amount of time,
fucked
but in a
is that?
positive light. Can you
Well,
imagine?
there's also a theory that time, everything that's happened has already happened. Time's like a loaf of bread, basically, from the beginning of the universe to the end,
Sure.
and just slices. So everything's already happened, and the past is whatever, but this present is just the
So
slice
it's kind of like
right
a
now.
coil. If you think about it like that, you can jump between the coils if you wanted.
Well, I don't know.
Or the slices of bread, so to speak.
I don't know. That's the theory. Now, I don't know if that's because remember
No way to
when-
prove that.
Well, when you were a kid, remember we used to say the theory was if I had all the knowledge in the world, if I knew everything in the universe,
Gotta be boring.
I could tell the future because I knew everything at this instant. But
right.
quantum mechanics says that's impossible because there's no such
Heisenberg
thing.
uncertainty principle. You don't know exactly how the chaos of how something's
right.
going to move.
So that dispels
But
that whole notion.
If you know everything, you know how to compensate for the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. I would argue
know
if
if
you
you
were
can.
completely omnipotent.
Because it's impossible to know. That's what the uncertainty
Not
principle
if you're
says.
God, Almond.
Yeah, not if you're a god. So
No, I don't think even a god can.
We live in a
know that.
three-dimensional existence. I mean, there's thoughts of being 20-plus dimensions out there. String theory has 11.
Yeah. Okay.
We have no clue what the actual base reality is. How many dimensions are coiled up on themselves? We don't know.
Okay.
Russell Burns asks a nice question here for you guys. If you could time travel, would you go forward or the past? 1,000 years in the future or to the past?
I'd go forward.
Forward,
Who wants to
probably.
go 1,000 years in the past?
See, the
Yeah.
problem too with going to the forward is you don't know what the future is. We could have been wiped out by aliens.
I know
could
what the
arrive to a
past is.
future-
It sucked.
And then you're just in a vacuum of
Did you
space.
ever hear the Louis
Fine.
C.K. joke
It's
that
better than being 1,100.
that time travel to the past is exclusively a white man's domain? Because if you're a black man and you travel to the past, think about that.
Yeah, that's no good, I guess.
It's not that bad. I mean.
Oh, okay. So you time
before.
travel to the past and say we'll go 1600s southern or south of the. Well, it's not the United States at that point. Somewhere in the colonies.
White
basically.
people were enslaved too. Believe me, you know that.
Fair enough, but that's just the joke. You know what I mean?
It's a joke.
I'm not saying it's true.
Oh, it's a
That
racist
was
Who would
the
want to
joke.
go back even
And that's what
500?
we're perpetuating here on Surreal Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Racist jokes.
No, we're perpetuating
Yeah,
comedy.
well, you're the one that's comparing people to Jewish people.
Did you see his hair?
What's
What
that
about
got
this
to do
too?
with it?
You know what's weird about time travel too? Say you had a time machine on Earth, and you wanted to time travel 5 years in the future. There's one thing I think a lot of people wouldn't take into account whenever you're talking about your coordinates for where you're going. You're thinking about a time coordinates, but you also got to give it your XYZ for where you want to land. But those XYZs have to be relative to something, for one. And your planet moves, not just around the sun in a 5-year period. It's zooming like in a spiral corkscrew
Yeah.
through the universe.
Yeah.
So when you put in 5 years ago at this exact point, if I was to travel 5 years ago at this exact point, I could be in another solar system. I could be in the void of space. We don't know.
Well, I think when you say you're traveling, I don't know about that because you're traveling in, you just said it, you're in 4 dimensions. You're traveling in a time dimension. The other ones, necessarily, you're not moving in
our
those
XYZs
dimensions.
are relative. Right now, all of our
What he's
coordinates are
saying
relative.
is not just spinning, not just revolving and rotating, but also
Traveling
the entire
through.
solar
I
He
get
gets
it,
it.
but I don't. Okay, I'm moving my arm in this direction.
Your
okay?
arm has got inertia.
It's only going in one, but it's staying.
Wrong.
In the,
Wrong. You
It's
have
going in
inertia.
At the XYZ axis.
From
It's
your
going
point of
one
view.
axis.
From your point of view. Say you were a billion light years out somehow watching you. our whole planet's moving. Your arm is on that planet moving, so it's actually kind of like this, like moving like further with every back and forth.
Because the planet's spinning.
Well, because
Yeah, but even that takes time. But if you're dilating
over the course of say 5 years, though, where our planet is now in the universe is nowhere close to where it will be in 5 years.
Man, fuck you guys.
Even in the rotation of our galaxy,
I think it's relativity again, though. You're moving in time, and the other people are not. So
Right.
it's not like you've moved a year for every year that I'm going in future. My time is moving at a.
I mean,
you may be an inch or two.
Well, tell me
maybe.
this: you got to be able to input into your time machine, so to speak, where you're going, and you have to.
Well, it sounds like it's almost instantaneous in our reference frame.
It could be
He's gone.
instantaneous.
He's gone like that.
Okay, let me ask you this then: a wormhole, wormholes, Eisenstein-Rosen bridge,
Right.
basically a quick way to travel from 2 points in space.
Right, but that's
They
a
also-
fold of space itself. It's not time.
That's a simplified way to put it. It's not even
Sorry.
a fold, so to speak. It's more like a tunnel than a fold.
No, it is. No, it's actually a fold. It's like a sheet of paper.
That's the way they show it to you. That's the way
that's what it is. That's what's going on.
I have
Space
as
is-
much trouble with that as I have whenever they give that two-dimensional view of gravity where they take a sheet and throw a ball in it and say that's how gravity works. Gravity is three-dimensional, not two-dimensional.
That's a nice way to explain it
Right,
for a
but that-
visualization.
right.
It
the
is three-dimensional
visualization-
when the ball rolls around it, though. It's going in 3 dimensions.
Fair, but it's not. So think about a black hole in the event horizon of a black hole.
Yeah.
It's three-dimensional too. I mean, it's not just a flat plane. So whenever you're trying to imagine a flat or a three-dimensional object and folding a piece of paper like that, that's not quite how space folds. Space doesn't fold, so to speak, like that. It's possible.
How does it fold?
It doesn't fold. It doesn't fold. I don't know.
What were you saying about the Einstein? You're making a point
Where was
about a
I going?
wormhole.
Oh, time.
Yes.
So you can also they also theorize that not just you go through space, you can also go through time and come out at a different time period. So say this wormhole starts here and goes to the other side of the galaxy
Yeah.
5 years in the future. Then it would work what you're talking about. If it's a straight wormhole that goes to a fixed point in space-time,
Yeah.
but then you still have to have coordinates of like if it's a time machine, not a wormhole that's a fixed bridge. If you're telling like making a wormhole, how do you tell it where that wormhole will come out? Come out in XYZ coordinates or XYZT? And then those XYZ coordinates that you fed into it are relative. If you could somehow, and I don't think you could, feed in XYZ relative to the center of the galaxy, that might work. But I don't think so. I think you'd have to do it from a fixed center of the universe that we don't even know. In fact, the center of the universe is constantly moving with
There's
us.
no such thing as the center of the universe.
Exactly right. Even where the Big
By
Bang was at,
definition, there's
been
not a point where everything explodes. That's
and I just find it really, really hard to believe that you could create a time machine and not have to give you a relative position to where you're going.
well. Would you go back in time and live your life over again, not knowing everything? I mean, you have no special knowledge or anything. Just start over again. Would you start over again?
No, I mean,
What's
yeah,
the difference?
fuck it.
I mean, that's basically
I
reset.
don't know if there's reincarnation, so yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, you got to live your whole life the way it was over again.
Okay,
Well,
why-
then what's the difference? I
don't
could be
know.
on my 50th time doing it.
you
right
have
now.
no idea. So
Well, you do that then. You would. I don't know if I'd want to do that.
you already probably have if that was the case, Armand, and don't know it. How would you know if you did? How would you know to be? Yeah, you wouldn't know.
I'd know
How would you know?
You
because I'd
literally
have
just said
because
you
I'd have
don't know anything.
920 instead of 460
What are you talking about?
chicks.
Oh my god!
Yeah, well,
Do I get to
Can't
count them all
base
over
a
again?
number on it.
that's if somehow the universe keeps track of Armand's fuck count, which I don't think it does.
You fell into that one, you dumbasses.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Oh, so that number would be inflated too, huh?
Okay, if I go back and do them all over again, I probably wouldn't do it. Boy, that's some real dogs. All right.
Torchlight Armand looks as though he's lived 10 lifetimes in that skin.
Thank you. Hey, what? Dang. Hey, who
Got
said
him.
that?
Torchlight.
All right.
Oh shit, that was pretty good.
That hurts.
I was liking on that one. So
Yeah, I thought you
Let me
would.
get my next link pulled up here.
the wormholes. I thought the wormholes thing was cool though.
It's okay.
It's a nice way to explain.
One,
and
we don't know that
visualize
they
it.
exist. They
No.
exist on paper.
Einstein-Rosen.
Will we ever be able to travel in time, you think?
Yes.
Hey,
think so.
what were you asking me? Something you didn't get about
I have no problem
expansion
believing
and
that we'll
inflation?
eventually be able to create a black hole, and I have no problem eventually believing that we'll be able to contain said black hole.
Jeez. Boy, you're pretty optimistic, aren't you?
I mean, we'll
Take
eventually
a lot
we'll
of
become-
energy, wouldn't it?
I'd like to hope if our planet doesn't get destroyed, we'll become like a Kardashev 5 civilization to be able to harness the entire power of this universe and other universes.
That's not true. It's not gonna happen. We'll kill ourselves before then.
Objection, speculation. I try to look on the good side.
No. probably gonna happen.
So you think the odds are better that we destroy ourselves before that happens?
So that's your answer to the Fermi paradox. Why we haven't seen any other civilizations? They've all just destroyed themselves.
yeah.
They
They
have
have
our
not
weakness.
passed technological immaturity.
Wow, look at this guy.
Because the gods are forever.
What's your problem?
What? Like that's a bleak outlook? Like that's not fucking
Pretty
based on
bleak.
reality?
No, it isn't.
Give me a
Based on
fucking
reality.
break. Because all we do as humans is kill each other.
Yeah,
Do
but
you
not
think we're gonna
wipe
really be able
ourselves
to
out.
fucking?
Why are you going to put our nature on other beings, though?
Well, yeah, that too. But I don't.
Okay, that's fair. But
I think if we were going to kill ourselves, it would have happened already. I think we're getting farther from that than nearer. Why do you think?
I don't fucking know,
Because the
man.
Cold War was much.
Look at the doomsday clock, though, man. They keep moving
Yeah,
ahead.
well, that's because of global
Trump's
warming.
president.
And they
Those
need to sell
idiots.
magazines. So.
Because of global warming.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, yeah. If Beto O'Rourke wins, boy, we buy another 50 years, I guess, huh?
I don't know, man.
Come on.
Let's think about how time eventually ends.
Well,
Not that
we've
it'll
already
eventually
talked
ends.
about that, and the big rip, the big crunch, and all that stuff.
Theoretically, but let's
Big
talk.
freeze.
Let's talk about the timeline of the universe, so to speak. Right now, we know the universe
Well,
is
the
roughly.
heat death, the entropy,
Right.
Infinite entropy. That's
We'll
how
get
it's going
there.
to end.
Wait,
Let's
hang on.
not skip to the end.
No, no,
Hang
don't
on.
tell me.
Hammer this out for me real quick, Armand.
Yeah.
Everett was telling me the other day there can be a spot in space that could be 17 billion years old as perspective from the people or the life forms or whatever that are in there, but surrounded by 14 billion year old space.
Probably closer to
Where'd you
reverse
get-
of that.
where'd you get
but
that?
This is a theory of mine. And 17 and 14 is that's a so it's the same thing as like going close or sitting on the outside of the event horizon of a black hole and
Yeah.
having an observer. Imagine you had a region of space that is densely packed with black holes, but there happens to be a fucking Goldilocks spot
Yeah,
for a
hospitable.
planet that from the gravimetrics of all these fucking things here. This area has existed for 20 million years as opposed to
20 billion
or 20 billion years as opposed to the 13 billion that exists out there. Just a theory, but why couldn't that happen?
Well, I don't even buy this. I don't even buy the Big Bang, to tell you the truth. I'm
that has
more of a
nothing to do with
steady
what we're
state
talking
guy. Well,
Right.
it just goes
Steady state.
Steady
All right,
state.
cosmological constants coming back.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Einstein considered to be his biggest folly there, Armand.
Well, he's wrong. He's true. Well,
Oh,
that's
Einstein's
what
wrong.
they're
You got
doing
that.
now. That's what they're doing now. What do you think dark matter
Oh,
is?
you fucking smarter than Einstein now, huh? Is that
Yeah.
right, huh?
What do I think dark
You
matter
gotta
is?
fucking tell him about that
I got
then, eh?
70 years of science that on Einstein. He died in 55.
You got that going.
So, yeah. Well, what do you think dark matter is? That's all it
I have
is.
no clue.
We don't know.
Nobody
Well,
has a clue.
I just read an article saying that dark matter is older than the universe. They say it's older than 13.7 billion years.
How the fuck do they know? They
Well,
can't even
then how
observe
do you
it.
know, though? How do you know it's not a steady state universe?
Well, I don't, honestly. But what we do know is that things happen. There's entropy that once a star fucking blows
Yeah,
up.
but you have to admit that they came up with this 13.78 or whatever it
based
is.
on the cosmic macro
Right,
background
and
radiation.
that's not necessary. I don't buy that crap. Just because it's 3 degrees hotter than it's supposed to be, give me a break.
I mean,
That's
how is it
stupid.
hotter than it? How is it that hot?
I don't know, but why does that imply that that's a background from the original Big Bang? That's kind of a stretch, isn't it?
I don't know.
And that everything was in one point, a singularity. Does that make sense to you? Not to me. Get out of here.
Does a
Well,
black
might as
hole
well-
make sense to you then?
I believe in God before I believe in that.
Yeah, you believe in a lot of things before you believe in obvious things.
I believe in global warming before I believe in that.
Armand says he believes in flat Earth before global warming.
So
That's true.
Here, I'm making you relevant now, Rusty, or ranty flat Earth. There you go.
yeah, what was that guy
And
doing?
I
in
don't
chat?
like
We
that
got
crack
this guy-
about my skin either.
I seen you ban it or something.
I didn't ban him. I just timed him out for a minute.
What was he doing?
He just flat Earth, flat Earth, flat Earth, flat Earth. Oh, the Earth is spinning, huh? Coriolis effect, huh? Okay, just shut up.
Wait a
for
minute.
We're not even talking
Oh, so
about
we got a
that
flat
shit.
Earth believer?
Yeah, more
Okay.
like a what do you call him?
Nothing wrong with that, but now is not
Yeah,
the
no, that's
time.
what I said. We're totally pro flat Earth. It's just we're not fucking
Pro
talking
flat
about
Earth.
it.
I wish it
No, we're not
was.
pro flat Earth. I'm saying we're pro your belief in flat
Yeah,
Earth,
right.
but it's just not what we're talking about right now.
So they say it took about 155 million years after the Big Bang, which I
Yeah.
know you don't believe in apparently, for
That's
the first
correct.
star to form.
Yeah, okay, I'll buy that.
That was
yeah.
the beginning. After everything cooled down enough,
I think it's. I've read a report. They think it's earlier than that though now because they found stars that are older than that. Or they think.
well, the oldest,
Because that
the
doesn't
oldest
make-
thing they found is like 13 billion years old. It's like 700 million less than the universe.
I think there's
and it's
less
a
than that
galaxy.
though, even because they've got some because they can tell that by the elements, these heavy elements.
Right, the
There's
amount of them that existed at the time
and,
wasn't
and
enough
that's
time.
fucked that all up too. So they're not even sure about that anymore. More like 300 million years after the. But anyway, go ahead.
Let's see here.
Here again, out of it. That's one article.
Right. So, in about 4 to 8 billion years from now, the
Okay.
Milky Way galaxy is going to collide with the Andromeda galaxy.
Correct.
And then in a short amount of time after that, within the next,
Which
say, trillion years.
we gotta make something about that too. It's not like planets are gonna be running into each other.
No,
and
dude,
shit.
it's crazy. Whenever two galaxies collide, it's fucking nuts because they'll
What
hit.
it's like when worlds.
Yeah, but they're not
collide.
that close together where they.
No, not right now.
We run into planets and shit.
I mean, that's possible, but unlikely.
No, there's vast spaces between. It's empty
Well,
space
wait a
is what a
minute.
galaxy
wait a
is.
minute. Then that's not a fucking
It's
collision.
possible. No, it is a collision because their gravity intersects and becomes
Yeah,
one.
right. It's going to be one galaxy, but it's not like we're going to be running it. It's like a crunch or anything.
So what they say is going to happen is they'll hit each other and kind of like
Spin around each other.
for a
Yeah,
little bit and start throwing out star systems
Yeah.
and
Oh, well, that still
eventually
could be
it's going to just
tragic.
be a blob and then it'll eventually coalesce
well,
back
there
together.
again, that depends on how much dark matter is and all
Shit,
that
it'll
shit.
form
We
into
don't
an
know.
accretion disk or whatever, though, right?
Well,
No,
like
that's a black
spiral
hole.
galaxy.
Yeah,
Similar to what we have
spiral,
now,
yeah.
right? And they say within 1 trillion years from now, the expansion of the Earth will not allow us to see anything out of our local supergroup of galaxies. So all of the galaxies
Expansion
are
of the universe.
right, expansion of the universe. So what that means is right now, say in a void of space.
Now that depends on how much dark matter there's and all that
Again,
stuff.
but we don't know shit about dark matter. We're going with what we know about just standard science right now. I can't speculate on
But
what dark matter
that's
is.
if the Hubble constant is really constant.
Right. But then again, it's gonna change with gravity in the local areas and whatnot too.
And now that depends theoretically on how much dark matter there is. 'Cause
Theoretically.
right, because it may stop. You're talking about if the universe keeps expanding.
Right. This is for an expanding universe.
Right.
Exactly. Sorry, I should have said at the beginning.
Yeah.
This is a theory based on an expanding universe,
Right.
not a steady state universe.
Right. Or one with enough gravity to pull it back in. It's not expanding.
That's
it
another-
stops expanding and comes back.
Right. That's the opposite of the big rip theory, the big chill, or what is it they call it? Not the big chill,
The big crunch.
big crunch. But so right now, the universe is expanding.
Right.
So space, and we don't know really how or what the mechanics of it is. So say you've got a 1 foot space right now in the middle of space, a void. Some force below the fabric of our space time is not stretching, but adding space to those points.
Yeah.
That's an important thing too.
Which is inflation, basically, right? Like at the beginning
Sort
of
of.
the universe,
I
theoretically.
wouldn't even call it inflation though, because inflation is to me is a stretch.
But everything's
But it's not a stretch. There's space being added. So if there was a particle in that space that expanded, the particle itself wouldn't stretch. There would just be space added around it.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
this was the thing you were showing me about. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That one fucked
Are
me
you
up a
folding
little bit.
paper again?
He was folding fucking paper.
Ah, see? So
blew
you
my
do fold
fucking mind
paper.
with a fold.
It had nothing to do with.
He told me that's not what
But
happens.
It was it wasn't. But I'm looking at space as two dimensional again. If it starts to slowly, like here's what's represented. This is how I gave it to Eric. You've got about 2 inches of paper here, and this is represented in space as 2 inches of space.
Right.
And as time goes on, space expands.
Right. Well, it's
and
better
out of
if-
nowhere, this space is just added.
Right.
It's
Well-
not like this goes like this and stretches.
No,
It-
Why wouldn't we have a
here's
rip
the-
in space time? It just gets bigger.
That's the thing.
Here's the analogy people use: like two ants on a basketball. The basketball keeps getting right, and the ants get farther apart
That's fair.
as you keep pumping
Except-
up the basketball.
Except the
But-
basketball itself doesn't stretch; it just adds more dots, and the basketball itself just adds more physical.
Well, that's the question, though. What is happening at the edge of the universe where it's theoretically still expanding? That's
That
what.
would-
Is there no
but the edge of-
nothing?
But it's not just at the edge, though. It's expanding everywhere, correct?
exactly.
Yeah, but there's still an edge.
It's expanding right here next to us. Well,
Or is it a torus?
We're
or
getting
that shit?
farther away from each
Is it
other
toroidal?
right now.
Oh, that's all right with me.
we can't sure if it's toroidal or not.
That was a good one, Armand.
Thank you.
Where were we talking?
Because you stink.
No, I don't.
My skin's old.
I forgot already.
Your skin is old, but that's not
All
what we're
right,
talking
so
about.
that we're talking about right. Okay, so
Expansion of the
eventually
universe.
everything we don't see anything. Our neighborhood and
So
you don't see
what'll
anything
happen
else.
is things will be so far away that it will take an infinite amount of time for light from other objects to get to us. And what the reasoning of that is, as you create these extra pieces of space, right? So this doubled up. Now you've got two regions of space that are actually expanding at the same as the original. So eventually there's going to be so much space between two objects that space is expanding at a perceived rate faster than the speed of light. So light can never cross that distance because the space is constantly getting further faster than the speed of the light's traveling.
Right, which is, and to say even right now, what is our, theoretically, we've got what, a 57 billion light year universe? 'Cause that's all
96 billion.
observable.
96
is that
billion.
big?
Yeah,
Nice, okay.
yeah, it's that
because the shit that's out there farther than that,
Started out closer and it's
right,
like,
now it's
right.
gone and we'll never see it. It's
Right.
past our horizon.
And eventually it's going to get to the point where all the galaxies close to us, our supergroup, will coalesce into one mighty super galaxy, more or less, and eventually that'll go away. But nobody else will know there's anything else in
But
the
all the
universe.
stars will burn out before then, right? Before a trillion years?
No.
Won't that be the heat death of the universe? I mean, well, maybe that's longer.
Well, let's see. 2 trillion years is whenever the galaxies are no longer detectable at all. The degenerate era was about 100 trillion years from now. Star formation will end, leaving all stellar objects in the form of degenerate remnants. Oh, fuck. Hold on. If protons do not decay, stellar mass objects will disappear more slowly, making this era last longer. That's just a big if, but it's going to happen. They will decay. Star formation ceases. Where's the black hole era? We'll eventually get to the black hole area, which is 1 Google years from now, where the only thing that's left in the universe is black holes. And eventually we're going to get to the point where those black holes have all Hawking radiationed off all of theirs and entropy out into nothing. So Eric and I were talking about earlier. He didn't quite understand what entropy was.
That's not true.
That figures.
He had a somewhat
rudimentary understanding of it.
Disorder. That's all it is, basically.
Moving from chaos to order. So the universe and everything in it follows the simple fact of it starts out ordered and moves toward chaos, more or less. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Disorder.
Totally.
Delta S. Second law of thermodynamics, which, by the way, global warming.
Wait, what was the one that
disobeys.
you said you could win the bets in the bars with the first law?
Oh, the zeroth law.
Oh, the zeroth law.
The zeroth
How many
law.
laws are there?
4.
All right, but there's only 1, 2, and 3.
Zeroth first, second, third.
Right.
Right.
I like it.
Yeah, I forgot where I was going.
Sorry.
I don't know.
My bad.
We're talking about entropy. I had a good
thought.
example here for entropy. What was it? What was the example I
Well,
gave you
dropping
earlier?
an egg, basically, or whatever, or boiling water.
Right, you can't unboil an egg.
Right.
You can't unboil water.
You can. Theoretically, the egg can come right back and form another egg, but it'd take trillions of years.
Well, I was telling him earlier, the one thing that goes against entropy is life.
Well,
Yeah, but no, that's not true because the sun provides the energy. That's a closed system.
True,
Everything in this Earth, the energies come from the sun, which it gets much more
That's fair.
entropy.
Okay, so entropy cannot be stopped, but it can be
Right.
slowed down with intelligence. I believe intelligence could actually change how long it takes for entropy to completely happen.
How are we going to do that?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't think you can
But
do
it's not
that.
happen. It's impossible to happen without intelligence. Am I right? With
It's
intelligence,
impossible to happen even with intelligence. But who
well,
cares?
let me ask you this then:
Why
with
would you
entropy,
want to?
How could life ever happen if entropy is 100% absolute? From moving from chaos to order, you can't go from chaos to
Yeah,
order.
but you're talking about a closed system. The energy provided for everything that happens on Earth comes from the sun, which entropy
Not
is.
everything. There's plenty
Where
of
else
other
is it
energy.
coming from?
Stars, for instance. It's a
What-
negligible amount of energy,
Yeah,
but
come on.
well,
All right,
you're talking
next.
absolutes.
Hey,
Okay,
the
but
ocean-
it's still an open system.
There's got to be some energy for the ocean to pull on the tides, right?
Well,
the
there's gravitational
moon.
energy from the moon. There's
yeah.
the heat energy from the core.
Yeah, but
there's
that's what
plenty
he's
of
talking about. The energy of life is from the sun, and most 99.9. Who knows how.
our life. But again,
Right?
you're
That's what I'm saying. But you're causing order.
yeah, but
Life
you're
is
thinking of it as us life. Life
Yeah.
doesn't have to be physical. It could be non-corporeal life. Who knows? My point is, it's got to be possible to at least slow it down. Figure out a way. I don't know. I had a whole train of thought
Well,
on this earlier.
then,
But
then certain laws of physics don't apply to you. Then the speed of light is not as constant
Well,
either, right?
what I had
if
mentioned
you
to
can
him was-
disobey one law, why can't you?
No
I disagree
energy is
with it.
ever dissipated. It's still there. Like,
Well,
you can't.
the energy's there, but it's not collectible. It's not usable. So whenever
Right.
heat radiates out into the space, it's gone. We'll never get that back. There's no way to collect it or
doesn't
reuse
mean
it.
it's gone.
Well, that's
though.
and that again to bring back global warming. The proposition is the light from the sun in radiation hits the Earth, bounces, and supposedly is caught in the atmosphere.
Okay.
But that does not reheat
it's
the
anti-global.
But it doesn't reheat. That does not perform work.
Wait.
That heat is not heat anymore. It's like striking a match and putting it up to a mirror. You'll see the flame in the mirror.
Sure.
But it's not generating any heat.
The mirror image,
You
yeah,
get
that's
it?
true. Yeah, I
That's
get
the
that.
problem.
Yeah, but how are you relating that to a match in a mirror? How are you relating the convection of that?
It's not convection, it's radiation.
So-
The theory is that long wave radiation comes in from the sun, or the short wave radiation comes in from the sun, bounces off the surface of the Earth, which is stupid, and then goes out as long
Why is
wave
that stupid?
radiation and caught because this rotation of the sun does a lot of things. Convection dissipates all that heat. It doesn't just bounce and go back out into and it's blocked by CO2. That's not what happens.
How do you know that?
Yeah, the
Because
popular science.
I've read the
would-
physics. That's
well,
not what happened.
I mean,
there's
your
only
opinion.
it's a very
I feel
narrow.
like-
it's only a very narrow
Don't take
spectrum
this the wrong
that is
way.
absorbed.
I feel like a physics teacher could explain this properly to you, and it's not that I don't understand it either. And you may have a better understanding than me, but I really feel like that you should get maybe even a physics professor.
I don't
problem
even
is-
have a physics teacher because the climate.
Professor.
I
It
know
doesn't
what
matter.
the climate is.
There's no teacher in the world that's going to change his mind with any amount of
What about
evidence.
with proof though? Like with
There's
fucking
no proof he would take. There's no proof he would take.
Does it make sense to you? Just let me hear me out.
Okay.
Give me a couple minutes.
All right,
okay?
let me hear it.
All right. You're talking about a trace gas, right?
Yes.
400 parts per million. Okay.
Yes.
Do you know how much that is? That's virtually nothing.
know exactly how much that
You're
is.
telling me the whole climate.
A lot less than that can kill you of a
Oh,
different
bullshit.
gas. Of a different gas, you're
We're
telling
not
me?
talking about killing.
I'm just saying,
We're talking
I know
about changing
exactly
the
how
climate
much-
of the Earth, not killing somebody. There's a big difference. And of that, Of that, 95% of the CO2 is natural. So man makes 5%. So you're talking about 5% of 400 parts per million.
So what you're essentially saying is not that you don't believe in global warming. You don't believe in man-made global warming.
I don't believe in the CO2 as a greenhouse gas. But if you did, it's negligible. If you were doing a chemistry experiment, you wouldn't even think about it.
How do you know
it.
that 400 parts per million won't affect the Earth's climate? How do you know that?
Because it's ridiculous.
But how do you know?
But it's not even 400. It's more like 100 because it's gone up from 300 to 400.
You just said 400.
Yeah, but it went up. It's naturally 300, supposedly.
Okay, so how do you know that extra amount once you add that onto what's already in there, according to you? Because I'm just going by what you're saying.
Is it common sense?
I'm asking you.
I don't care.
How do you
common
know
sense
that?
tells you it's not going to.
How do you know?
How do you know it is going to? You're going to wreck the economy, but you're going to wreck the economy. You're going to wreck the economy on that
I'd rather
theory.
wreck the economy and live.
Then you're nuts.
And
you don't think about
live
economics.
than not wreck the economy and fucking die. Yeah. I mean,
Okay, how come it's gone up? How come it's gone up straight up, right?
I don't know that it has.
It has. CO2 has gone straight up for the last 100 and something years since the Industrial Revolution.
Okay.
Okay, temperature does not go straight up with it. There's no correlation. Temperature goes like this.
Look, I don't know enough to say wrong, so I'm just going to ignore you.
No, I'm not ignoring.
Are you going to risk the whole economy of the industrial world though on this theory?
Yeah, so my grandkids
How is it
don't
the whole
die.
economy? How is it the whole economy?
That's
That's
true
what
too.
they wanna
That's
do.
true too. How
That's
is it
what
the
they wanna
entirety
do.
of the economy?
Objection.
You want to check. You want to cut out all fossil fuels. That's what Ocasio-Cortez wants to do, and Bernie.
She's a little bit crazy.
Okay, a little bit. Okay, so we don't stop. You want to stop burning fossil fuels, right?
I wouldn't mind eventually stopping burning fossil fuels.
We will.
would hope we- I would
You
hope
know
we
we
do.
will. You know that's going to happen. 50 years not going to use fossil
But
fuels.
what
anymore.
if you're wrong and it's too late?
Okay, then I'll gladly eat my words.
Well, what about
you
the
won't
rest of
have
us?
to. You won't have to though. My kid will have to eat your words.
How do you know I won't be alive in 50 years?
Because Armand, let's be
Fine.
serious about
Let's go.
things. Say you are
His
alive. in 50
great-grandkids.
Yeah, my kids will have to eat because of you believing so strongly in this and not willing to wreck the economy. My grandkids got to die.
And you think your kids are going to live better with no fossil fuels?
I would think my kids will live better without the
You do?
fucking
Oh,
right.
really?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, really? Try
Yeah.
to take away their cell phones or
Okay, how about
computers
this?
for a day.
Aside from the greenhouse gases, quote unquote, that may or may not exist, what about the standard pollution created by fossil fuels?
That's a different problem. If it was up to me, we'd be
Right.
totally nuclear.
We're not talking about pollution. We're talking about global warming.
Right.
And why we're talking about fucking global warming, I don't know.
Right.
Because we're talking about time, and
It
the
has
time is
nothing to do with global warming.
we're talking about time, and the time has come to talk about global warming.
Time has come.
It is
Get it?
time. It's about-
Mr. Mensa?
Let's shut it
I'm
down.
anti-Mensa. That's the smartest thing you've said all day.
Hey, but can you look up that one though? There's one that's like the most
Let's see.
the
Intelligence clubs.
right?
Let's
The most
Google that.
exclusive. What's it called? The Promethean Club or whatever?
Let's see. High IQ
Prometheus?
societies.
Yeah. There's one that's like 1 in 2 million or something. It's
So we've
gotta
got
be tough to get into.
Intertel,
Oh, really? Never
which
heard
is
of
the
it.
top 1%, takes an IQ of 135 or more.
Well, that's Mensa's like top 2%.
I'll get there.
Oh, it's on
Mega Society, established in 1982, requires a 171.3. That's the top
Oh,
0.0001, the 99.9999th percentile. Then Mensa is an IQ of 130. That's the top 2%.
Anybody gets in that.
The Prometheus Society,
Yeah, that's the one.
which is IQ of 160 or above that. The
Oh,
Mega
really? The
Society
other
is
one?
above-
Really? The Mega's more?
Yeah, which is 0.003% is Prometheus. Then there's the Triple Nine, which is a 146.
That's not that much.
Yeah, top
so the
0.1%.
top one was what? The Mega?
The Mega, which is a 171.3. Annual dues, though, are $39.
How many people?
Paying it.
No shit, he's out already.
That's I don't know. I don't qualify.
How many people are there that are above 170?
It's 1 out of a
That's-
million is
yeah.
what that is.
Jesus.
So if you've got 5, 6
in a
billion
million.
people in the world, you got 6,000 people.
I didn't
that
think
are
it was even
eligible.
that many.
So why don't we
170?
collect all them 6 million people up and turn them into fucking, figure
So,
out how to fix global warming. Is all I'm
Wikipedia
saying.
here- Here's how
There's no
Wikipedia
such
says
thing.
eligibility. It's the top 0.0001%.
Right.
1 out of a million, not reliably measurable with current tests to get
Well,
up
then
that
how
high.
the hell do they?
Right.
That
They want their
makes-
$39, man.
All right, I'll pay the $39.
So this is a scam.
You don't think
They'll
that'll
tell
get you
anybody
laid?
they have a 170 IQ
Wait a minute.
for $39.
Hey man, this
we gotta
fucking
start
club
something
said
like
I got
that.
170, so it only cost me $39.
I'm a mega society, motherfucker. What are you? You're barely Mensa.
Barely
bitch.
Mensa.
Oh, I tell you, yeah.
You bitch ass bitch. Mensa's the worst one of the 5.
Do we have any other women out there? Donna's not impressed. Anybody else? April? does April think?
I don't know. Is she around? I haven't seen her in chat in a while. Hey, if you're still out there, what do you think? Does intelligence turn you on?
Women,
Probably not. She's with
Armand
me.
wants to know if you would,
Is it worth it?
wait. So are you asking if they would bang or just like think a guy's sexy?
Yeah, is that sexy?
Is that sexier if a guy's into an intelligence club?
Yeah, if you got a Mensa card, does that hold any water with any of our lady listeners?
No, it doesn't. I'll answer it for him.
Think
James
so,
says,
huh?
time's the subject today. I can only imagine how high you fuckers are. You're
All
not
right,
wrong.
We're done with time.
Frank
Time ended.
says the people that pay $39 to be told they're smart are not that smart. Very true, Frank.
Yeah, but if it could get you, if it could get you laid.
So
it's
that's
worth
cheaper
it.
than a prostitute. $39 for the Mensa card versus
Cheaper than Match.com for 2 months.
I don't know what that costs, but I guess it's more than $39.
You pay for that shit?
They used to. I've been on there years. No, it's like it used to be like $20 a month. I don't know. Yeah, there's all kinds of free ones.
You guys need to do dabs.
Of course,
You're
dabs are nice.
absolutely
Dabs
right.
are very nice. All right, let's finish it up. We got the social show here in about 5-10 minutes for you.
Yep.
For
We
you
got
folks
some
out there on
announcements
YouTube.
on the social show about the next 2 weeks. So
Well, I mean, what do you expect?
Stick around.
He got to the end of the universe. What are we going to talk about then?
God.
Well, we talk about global warming. We had a
How
little
about
time left
universal
over.
warming? Let's stop the universe from heating.
Right.
It's
Good.
getting a runaway, man.
Right.
We're going to the opposite of entropy. Fucking shit's just getting hotter. It's not getting cooler, man. It's not going to equilibrium.
We need to get cooler.
But if you drive a Tesla,
That's
you'll
what it was.
save
I was
the
going to talk
universe.
about equilibrium. That's basically what entropy is the move towards equilibrium. To where,
Well, true.
so
Like
say
a
you
cup
have
of coffee.
a cup of
Getting
coffee
hot, yeah.
and a fucking
Cooler.
cold fucking cup of coffee. Eventually,
Right.
they're going to be the same temperature. And that's the way the universe is going to end up.
We call that
Everything
room
is going to be the
temperature?
same. Room temperature, whatever. What if you have a very, very hot room?
Then it's
still
hotter
room
than
temperature.
fuck.
My point. Here's April. She says intelligence is important, but clubs don't matter to meow. She means me.
So how important is intelligence, though? Is the quality that women find
I think
sexy?
it's-
Armand wants to know.
I think
Depends
it's
on the
more.
woman.
I think it's more important to women than men.
Intelligence.
Men are all about looks.
It's again by the person, man.
I
you're
think
talking
so,
about
too. I
If
agree.
you're gonna go out with an ugly gal just because she's smart, you wouldn't do that.
There's different. There's a fucking curve.
Armand.
There's an ugly smart curve. You know what I mean? Somewhere along the ugly smart curve.
Okay, give me a percentage. 70-30, what?
I got.
I don't get it. She's 70% smart, 30% ugly.
Yeah,
I don't understand the ratio so
That's
much.
what I'm saying.
I don't know, man. Again, yeah, obviously I'm not going to date a woman who's missing her face just because she has a $2 million or $2 million fucking IQ.
Even if she's in the mega society?
No, definitely not. I don't care about that.
Well, there you go.
But an average-looking woman with an average intelligence to me is better than a beautiful woman with a very low intelligence.
Oh, you're nuts.
Well, I mean,
you're not a real man.
Maybe when I get to be your advanced age with your
What do you
advanced
say?
skin.
Advanced age.
That's a
About
married
what?
man talking.
About
What
what?
does a bachelor talk? He just said, would you rather have an average-looking woman and average intelligence or a really dumb, beautiful woman?
I don't know.
And this is a marriage
I don't
thing,
really
not
care.
just a fuck. Because if it's just a fuck, yeah, you're taking the hot chick. But if you got to marry a woman,
Well, I didn't say anything about marriage, but
well, if you're going to
okay.
be with a woman, I mean that I'm going.
I don't judge people based on things like that, guys. Yeah, bigots.
boy,
So
here we go.
you know what I mean?
Oh,
Just gonna
boy.
say.
Well, you're nice and woke.
James referencing the crazy hot scale, but that's a different.
That's
thing.
what I was. That's exactly what I just looked up. The hot to crazy matrix.
Yeah, we talked
That's
about
what I
that
said.
on-
You got to watch this video. It's fucking good.
I know it is. It's great, but
Hilarious. They can only get so hot before they're crazy. is
it's
what he said.
hilarious because that guy's so deadpan. He looks like he never had a date in his life.
We talked about that one on one of our old podcasts. What became the Three Horsemen, which was originally Not So Fast podcast. We talked about the crazy hot scale, and that guy got a hold of us and wanted to be on the show. But we never
Are you
did.
serious?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I think that we need to redo that for the beauty
JST?
smart. No, the beauty smart curve. You know what I mean? You got the same thing as the matrix for the crazy. And
Yeah, but there's such things as smart hot chicks.
true, they'd be on a different part of the curve. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Right.
So I mean, it's a graph. So
No,
those
I
are 16
understand.
And don't
pieces.
I
get
saw
me
the
wrong.
video.
I think women on average are smarter.
All right, we
than
got to
men.
kill the fucking show,
Yeah,
guys.
you're right. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Check us out at Surreal Talk
Time. We got
Podcast.
nothing but time.
SurrealTalkPodcast.com. While you're there, remember to vote on the poll.
Don't forget your underwear.
Leave a voicemail. Other than that, Google us up, SurrealTalkPodcast.com, and make sure you follow
Yep.
us on all of our social media.
Yep.
Not going to go into what they are right now. Again,
There's a
Google
bunch
us.
of them.
Just Google it.
We don't have Instagram. We do have Snapchat.
Why don't we have Instagram, huh? Because we don't take pictures.
Yes, that's true.
All right, any which way. We'll see you guys all here in about 10 minutes for the after show. Got a shit ton of emails, shit ton of voicemails this week.
A lot of good stuff.
Gonna
Some
be a good-
messages on Facebook.
gonna
Blow
be
your
a good
fucking
after
mind
show.
type things. So.
All right, well, I guess that's it. We'll see you guys here in about 10. And I guess in the next episode you download.
Yeah, that's true too.
So, I mean, if you're not on YouTube, it'll be in a minute. Anyway.
I don't like idiots, that's for sure, April said.
All right. End of the show. See you guys next episode or next download. I don't fucking know. See you guys in a bit. All right. Record is done. YouTubes, thanks for showing up. We'll see you guys here in about 10 minutes. You know how this works.
Y'all.
See you in a few. Stop the stream. Right there's the button.